What is up, everybody? Welcome to BAF. Hey, hey, hey.
Hello, hello.
The classic episode right here that's going to have the exact same crew when we did from dusk till dawn. When we did DuckTales.
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 Woohoo. Actually, I did that on purpose because I messaged. No, Mike,
Yes.
Well, you just said it a little while ago.
Yeah, because I texted Mike. It was like, yeah, it's the same crew as from Duck Till Dawn. He says it probably would have been a better movie if it wasn't from Duck Till Dawn. The typo shit or the spell check. But today we have a great episode. We have Adam hosting. We are doing the I'm a version of this movie. This is the first time I've actually seen it. So we're doing Pirate Radio, or in the British title,
Boat That Rocked.
The Boat That Rocked. So
I don't know. It was a different one.
Yeah. That's where there's an uncut version. And apparently that's the one I watched. I don't think everybody else did. I'm the only one that watched that. But you said that's in the deleted scenes.
Yeah, the original version. You'll do the release date, but they released it first in England, and it was 135 minutes. When Universal got the rights to release it in the U.S., we need to cut a little bit out of it. So they cut 20 minutes out of it, so it was just under 2 hours, and changed the name to Pirate Radio.
Oh, yeah. Which I think Pirate Radio is a better title, but the when it came as The Boat That Rocked, it was dropped. It was released on April 1st, 2009, and then in the States it was released November 13th, 2009. So not that far off. I mean, just be about 5 or 6 months. The Pirate Radio was originally directed by Richard Curtis. He's only done 3 movies. He did Love Actually, which actually is a fun movie.
It did well.
It's not a bad movie.
Well.
I actually watched it because BAC actually did a review on it. Snow and Sammy, they did an excellent job on that one, so check that out. Other movies he's done is About Time and this, Pirate Radio. But he is also a screenwriter for a lot of classic movies, 4 Weddings and a Funeral, Notting Hill, Bridget Jones' Diary, and Bridget Jones' Diary, The Edge of Reason. And then he also screenwrote War Horse. I think that's a Steven Spielberg film.
Okay.
Production budget for this movie was $50 million. It earned $8 million in the States. And around $28.3 million internationally, totaling amount to $36.3 million worldwide. So it didn't make its money back. So this would be considered a flop. Rotten Tomatoes score for this movie, which is really shocking. It's right on the border of being right, of 59%. So it's actually rotten. But the user score for this movie was a 71%. So it is well loved. But for some reason, it didn't get good reviews.
Lower than I thought it would be.
I was expecting a higher review, maybe like a 70 or 80%. So the cast of this movie has got an excellent cast. We got Philip Seymour Hoffman as the Count. We got Bill Nye as Quentin. Always love Bill Nye. Rhys Ifans as Gavin. We got Nick Frost as Dave. I'm sure you're a big fan of Nick Frost with the Shaun of the Dead and all the.
I love Nick Frost.
What are the other movies? The Shaun of the Dead.
Come on, you can do it.
Hot Fuzz.
The World's
Hot
End,
Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz, yes. But he's also in a lot of movies with
Cornetto
Simon
trilogy.
Pegg.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Cornetto trilogy, which is
Paul,
another.
which isn't part of it, but you know,
You keep saying it's not as good as the 3, but it's
not a part of it.
yeah.
It's not. It's definitely.
But it's
not
from
a
the
part of
same
it.
guys, Simon Pegg and
Yeah,
Nick
but
Frost.
it's not a part of it.
Which also you guys got to check out that episode. Stu did a great job hosting that one for the Cornetto trilogy. We also have Tom Surge as Carl. We got Chris O'Dowd as Simon. January Jones as Eleanor. Emma Thompson as Charlotte. And Jack Davenport as Dominic Twat. And Tahula Riley as Marianne. And then we also have Rhys Darby. I don't remember the character that he played, but
Angus.
It was Angus, yeah.
Yep.
He was kind of more of like the funny man when it comes to the DJs.
Tom Broke as Thick Kevin.
Who?
Tom Brooke as Thick Kevin.
Which one? Oh, he was the one that basically got all the women. That was the quiet one.
No, Thick Kevin.
Thick Kevin
Thick
was
Kevin.
the
The
roommate.
one who was dumb.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Who's the black kid that was with them? The one that was sharing the cookie with them in that whole little.
What was his name? Harold or something?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He barely talked, but he was kind of more of like
Ike Hamilton.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Harold was.
Who played Bob?
Who played who?
Bob.
That was killing me because I was trying. He looked like a
that's,
very familiar
that's
actor.
Ralph Brown.
What movies has he been in?
Yeah, Ralph Brown has been in. Hold on, I'll get you a list.
Because I've seen his face before.
Yes.
Yeah, Wayne's World 2,
Okay.
What's
Okay.
with Noel and I, The Contractor, Dark Tide, Tower Block, Final Exam, Alien 3.
Was he in Alien?
Uh
oh,
huh.
he's also in the Phantom Menace too.
Buster. Okay, so he looks a lot different. I will tell you.
I know exactly what you're talking about now.
Without a beard.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, I know exactly who that is. He's also like he's in Star Wars: The Phantom Menace as the pilot for Queen Amidala's ship. He's got no beard or anything like that, but he's in there, and that's why because he looks so familiar.
Yeah.
and I was trying to figure out who the fuck that was.
Gemini Man with Will Smith.
Yeah. Okay. Other movies that were released around the same time was the Twilight Saga, New Moon. We got 2012, which is a Roland Emmerich film. You know, it's disaster and everything else. A Christmas Carol, which I think was the Jim Carrey animated one. The Fantastic Mr. Fox, which is actually a Wes Anderson film and is actually a very fun stop motion film. It's actually very entertaining. Pirate Radio, The Men Who Stare at Goats, which I know Stu is a big fan of that
That's a
one.
good one.
Yeah.
Good one. It's a fun one.
That's fun. And then Law Abiding
funny.
Citizen.
Yes, I love that one. Oh, I love that one so much.
Yeah, so it's
That's one I wish somehow just spawned an entire series of films. Or I would have loved it.
they didn't make any sequels to that one?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm shocked. I know.
You can't make a sequel to that one without taking away.
The end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, or you just have to. You would have to have somehow whole new characters all the way through.
I remember somebody was going to be hosting that one. I remember that one's on
Such a
somebody's
great
list.
one.
I don't.
Now,
Maybe
that
it was on
could
yours.
be Pod Dude's some kind of anthology, something like that, to where it is a different character.
Yeah.
It
That
could be,
would
but
be
it would
interesting.
But everything would have to work out just right.
Right.
And part of what made that so good was just how clever the planning was.
Right,
How
yeah.
clever, and then you'd be constantly trying to figure out the guesses and so if they did spawn sequels, and you wouldn't
Right.
enjoy it as much. I don't think.
But you being a big fan of The Men Who Stare at Goats, because you've actually referenced that movie many times in a lot of past episodes. So
It's a fun film.
It's one with George Clooney in it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's a good amount of movies that came out that month. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the drink, which Adam or Anna came up with this one. So
And we're gonna give her the credit for this one because she did the. I was trying to find something.
Yeah.
Just rock and roll related things like that. I found a rock and roll vodka that I was thinking about getting, but I couldn't find it. The only place I could find it was in Florida. There's no way I could get it here in time.
oh Jesus Christ.
So she
I was like, "Do you need some help?"
and of course,
you could have gotten here in time, but you'd have to drive. Really,
no.
Just saying. It is a
so-
possibility.
Yeah.
We'd still be on the way back.
yeah.
So she's better with the drinks at my house. So I let her finish this off for us.
And the thing about this is that when you told me it was this, I was like, how does that have to do with the fucking movie? I had no clue. And then we looked it up on the AI, and it actually said that it's in a scene in the movie where they're at the bar or something like that.
I didn't see it anywhere in the movie. I just found this website that has different drinks that are in different movies. And this one's called the Queen Mary. It says it appears in the movie, and it just it's a part of the vibrant and rebellious atmosphere aboard a ship broadcasting music illegally.
I'm wondering
But
if
I
this
was like, I didn't see it, but I guess I believe the
I wonder if
website.
this was in one of the scenes for the stag party that
That's
you
what it was.
may have seen, but
Yeah,
we didn't.
That's what the AI said. It said it was
Okay.
during the scene when they were going bar hopping, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we didn't see it because it was in the English version, not our
Oh,
version.
I watched that.
So what are the ingredients?
Oh, so it has a beer, a 12-ounce beer, grenadine, and cherries.
Okay. Pretty simple. It probably just makes the beer sweet. So I'm curious.
I talked to somebody at work. They said I have a friend that drinks that all the time. So
Smells like beer.
cheers.
Prost.
Cheers.
Prost.
Roast.
All right, reach over. There we go. One thing I do miss about the octagon table. And Mike, you have this too, right? Oh, I see it right in
Yes.
front of you.
And I used a Blue Moon for the beer.
Yeah, that's
Just a sweet
I
beer.
use Yingling. Lager.
That's different.
That would probably be good too.
Yeah.
Boy, that makes it sweet.
It's
Oh,
very
that-
sweet.
It makes it like a that's different. I don't know. I don't know if I like that. I actually rather just have just a regular beer taste.
I will say it does make it somehow feel even lighter than a normal beer is
Yeah.
somehow. And I can't explain.
It tastes like a spiked cherry drink. I don't taste.
I don't taste.
I taste
Spike
the
at all.
beer. You know, not spiked, but
Yeah.
I mean, I guess what I'm saying is like a carbonated cherry drink or something like that.
Maybe.
How much grenadine was this in this?
An ounce.
An ounce of grenadine. Wow, and there's a little cherry at the bottom too, soaking in beer.
Some beer soaked cherries.
Who wants to go
Wow.
first? Oh, I'm not a fan of the. I'll go first. Fuck it. I
Hey, I got to step away for a second. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. I will give this maybe a half a thumb. I don't know. I just can't do grenadine and beer. It just doesn't seem right to me. I don't like the sweetness to it. And you're right, Stu, and how it kind of like tones it down a little bit. I'm just not a fan. I don't know. I'm not. I don't care for this. It feels ultra sweet because grenadine is very sweet, and only being an ounce, it doesn't do anything for me. I don't care for this. I don't know why this is a favorite in Britain.
They're weird.
They don't have good taste.
No.
No.
They don't have good teeth either.
I can say shit.
Wow.
I can say shit. All right.
Yeah, half a thumb. Half a thumb. Not my favorite. It's too sweet.
I don't think it's too sweet. For me, I don't think it's too sweet. The taste is okay. I'll give it a 1. It's not.
Would you drink it again?
If it was put in front of me, yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't like
Wow.
request it or serve or or order or anything like that. But I mean, if somebody again, here's some more. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but it like I said, I'd give it a 1.
Okay. Anna?
I don't. I mean, it's kind of sweet, but I don't feel like it's too sweet. It's a little bit refreshing, maybe for summertime. I don't think I'd go and make it and order it, but if somebody gave it to me, I'd drink it.
Yeah.
I give it like a 1.
You give it a 1?
Yeah.
How about you, Mike?
I'm sorry about that.
Oh, you're good.
Are you good?
I had people at my door,
Oh,
and there's 2 people upstairs, but neither one of them get up and get the door.
So they just wait for you to do it while you're doing the show.
Okay.
But the dog's barking, so it's probably gonna come through here, and it drives me
we were
crazy.
fine.
I
We were fine.
don't even think I heard him.
So I had to grab my gun and go. So
That's fine.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
anyway, I think if this was a half ounce of grenadine, and I like it more, for me it's too sweet.
Thank you.
So I would give it maybe a 1. It's not horrible. I wouldn't order it like this. I'd order it maybe with a half ounce. But it's just a bit too sweet for me.
See, I think a half ounce might work. It might make it a little bit better. It might take a little bit of that sweetness away and actually have more of a beer taste to it because it does have a beer taste, but it's very mellow. The cherry kind of overtakes it, in my opinion. But this is my opinion.
I'm looking forward to getting to that cherry at the bottom.
I'm curious
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
I love
Me
American
too.
cherry.
Yeah. Stu?
I'm gonna give it a 0. I agree. I'm more curious about the half ounce versus the full ounce. That might make it more palatable. Right now, it exists. It is too sweet. It's too syrupy.
Yes,
that
yes,
artificial
absolutely.
cherry. That it's grenadine. It's grenadine.
Yeah.
Grenadine is artificial cherry, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're not doing it like real. fucking-
Grenadine's actually pomegranate.
Really?
Yes. I never knew that. I just found out that last year.
Oh wow. I would not. Okay. Yeah, I'm not.
I wouldn't have known that either.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
not a-
that's just the same as that the crab, the imitation crab is not crab. It's actually a fish. So
That's like me. I've never used grenadine for the actual flavoring. Grenadine has always been more for a visual aspect, for a coloration.
Yeah.
Right.
It isn't there necessarily to change the flavor profile, if anything.
Oh well,
yeah,
a lot of
this
people
is,
love it. A lot of people love it in their 7-Ups for the what is it? The
Shirley Temple.
Shirley Temple and stuff like that. It adds to that, but
But even in that, they're only putting like a quarter ounce in that
yeah,
when you make a Shirley Temple.
it's only a quarter ounce
Or-
of grenadine.
Yeah.
A quarter ounce of grenadine with the Sprite, or if you're making a Roy Roger, you do it with root beer.
Fuck, when Sammy asked me to make
Or
it,
you
for
make
she
it a
always-
dirty Shirley. You know, you make a Shirley and add a little bit of vodka.
That might
I
work.
knew a dirty Shirley. She had no grenadine.
But did she have some red streaks afterwards?
Oh, that's fucking funny.
But yeah, I'm not a fan.
You wouldn't drink this again.
No, this just goes to the fucking British people not knowing what the fuck flavor is.
Right.
All right.
For as much as British people mac on Americans with their sweet stuff, for them to have this and think this isn't like a great drink, I question anything they say.
It takes away the taste of beer, in my opinion. I'd like the taste of beer.
Mine's halfway down. I'm going to fill the cup back up with beer and see if that makes a difference.
That might.
Oh,
And so that would be like half an ounce of grenadine then.
I want to finish it off and try that cherry, though. I want to see what the cherry tastes like soaking in beer, though. I mean, I'm wondering if that's going to work out. But yeah, so we got a 0. You have 2 1s, got a half. And Mike, what, you gave it a 1?
I gave it a 1 because
Okay.
I do like the grenadine, but it's just too
Sweet.
much for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe I'll change after I have this second one.
It's a little bit darker.
Let's
like
see.
that.
I see that. It's got more of a.
See, it is a little bit better. It's still sweet, but I might go back to a half a thumb.
Half All right. Well, that's the drink review and the details for the movie. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and then we'll get into this this fun movie.
Do we have to take a break? I'm having fun.
Oh, we got to take our break.
Oh.
Yeah, we got to play the little coffee commercial or, BAC commercial. So we'll be right back, guys. Hey, having a hard time trying to stay up, trying to record these podcasts late at night?
Or are you up late, working, driving trucks, working in the shop, trying to provide for that damn family of yours?
You need coffee.
Well, let us tell you about this one company we got right here. It's called Coffee Bros. Now, they got a very select blend of different roasts, light roast, medium, dark, espresso. Now, each one of these has its own flavor profile.
These 2 brothers from New York made this amazing company with an amazing coffee that you could order online.
So you just had the espresso roast.
Yes.
And did that thing wake you up?
I couldn't go back to sleep. Oh, man. It was smooth. It had
Nice.
that nice chocolate taste to it. You can just taste the chocolate.
And it doesn't give you that bite like other coffees do.
Or bitter.
No, definitely not bitter at all. This is smooth, sweet, aromatic. This coffee here will absolutely wake you up when you need it to.
The coffee here is dedicated to freshness, quality, and consistency. Use the code BAF10 to get 10% off your entire order. The link for the website is in our show description. And I'm telling you guys, it's worth it. This coffee keeps you awake, especially for the late podcasting that we do.
Yeah, it's very much needed.
Try out Coffee Bros. Coffee Bros! All right, guys, we are back with the show. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Adam for the one who picked this movie. And I know this has been something that you've been wanting to do for a while now.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
been on
we've
your
talked about it a
list.
few times. So it's welcome to 1966, where the BBC sucks and doesn't want to play any good music.
Which I had no idea.
Yeah.
This is history too. This is actually I had no idea about that.
Yep, they wouldn't play rock music on BBC, and pretty much the radio was controlled by the British government at that time.
Yeah.
So it got left up to pirate radio stations, and several of them they had to do it out in the sea where they were beyond the reach of the government at that time.
Yeah.
And there was some of the equipment used in this movie was actually from a pirate radio station I think it was Radio Caroline.
Caroline.
Yeah.
I actually saw something on that on Google where it showed a picture of that boat with the Radio Caroline and everything.
Yep. Yeah. So some of the equipment was actually from a pirate radio station near that broadcast. I think in the 70s and 80s.
But is
At
most
that
of most of the story true, or is it based on events? Like, was there really a sinking or anything like that?
There was a sink. There was a ship that did a radio station that did sink. So although there was a lot of instances where the story wasn't based on one specific ship for the most part.
Okay. So this is
some of the
basically a whole
characters-
bunch of different.
Yeah, they compiled everything about the whole situation over
okay.
there and just created this story based off of kind of everything that happened.
Yeah.
Some of the characters were based off of actual pirate DJs. I don't have all the just so many people and so many DJs that it's hard to keep track of them.
Did they actually have an American DJ at all, or was it all just
there was an American? There was, I think there was 2 at least.
Oh wow, okay.
American DJs over there that did this, but yeah. So the main story is based off of The Count, which was the American DJ,
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Philip Seymour Hoffman. He did a phenomenal job with it.
He's good in just about everything he's in.
Yeah.
But you could tell he had fun.
Yeah.
He
was the last minute addition to the cast.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Yes.
Did they have anybody else in mind, or was it always?
No, they just didn't have that. I don't think they had that part filled. And then he showed up to the set, and like everybody's like, "Holy shit, that's Philip Seymour Hoffman!" And there's a lot of good stuff. He brought his Oscar with him.
Yeah.
And which they said he carried around all the time. And if you did a scene with him, when you did the single scenes, he would hold up the Oscar while he was off camera, and he'd have socks on it. He'd dress it up in different stuff.
Oh my god, that's so
fun.
funny.
The whole atmosphere there was just so fun.
Jeez.
Like, I'm better than you.
Exactly.
You see this? You definitely won't get it for this movie.
Yeah, I was looking at. He passed away in 2014. This was done in 2000. It was probably filmed around 2008. It released in 2009. So he still had a couple more years. It sucked that we lost him.
Yeah.
I think it was like a heroin overdose, wasn't it?
It's definitely drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
but
was drugs.
It sucks so bad because he was such a great actor, and he won for that Capote movie, I believe. That's the one that he won an Oscar for. So.
So, so pretty much the story is based off the DJs and the British government trying to shut them down. Kenneth Branagh played the
Great actor.
what was it Sir Alistair Dormandy?
Yeah.
Who's the government minister trying to shut him down?
He was definitely closeted, right?
I think so. Yes.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm not making sure he was making
He was
that
married,
choice
but
to play that as a closeted.
Yeah.
Okay.
But and
That's
his
weird because I got the same feeling, especially when he was talking to the other dude on the patio.
yeah.
and his assistant,
twat?
is Mr. Twat.
Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah.
Twat.
What the fuck type of name is that? So an
name.
interesting
Well,
name.
they did. There was 2 names in the movie that were kind of based off of innuendo. His was the first. You saw the version you saw. You saw the English version.
Yeah.
They actually said her name in that version. In the U.S. version, they only called her Mrs. C.
What was the British? I don't remember.
Cunt?
The
Clit.
Okay.
So you saw the scene where they were in the elevator.
Yeah.
And he introduced her as Miss
Twat
Clit.
and clit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Twat and
Okay. I remember that. I mean, there was a lot of scenes in here that I didn't even know that were not in the American version. And because I remember was looking at the IMDb trivia and that whole scene where they base it off the album cover of Jimi Hendrix with Jimi Hendrix and all the topless women.
Yep.
And it was that
And
dude that's quiet all the time.
Marvelous Mark.
Yeah.
Basically, it showed him. I think they went to the bow, like underneath the basement of the boat or something like that, the bow of the boat, and they opened the door, and you just see him naked with all these topless women, all the groupies and everything, and he's just enjoying himself.
Yeah, there
was
was a scene where I guess they invited a bunch of fans onto the boat.
Yeah, groupies.
And groupies and stuff like that. And there was a bunch of them. Well, they were getting ready to leave. And Quentin, who's the guy who runs the boat and everything like that, it was like, we're missing some people. We only about half of them here. He goes, we got to go figure out where they all are.
Yeah,
And so that's when they go down into the boat and they open Marvelous Mark's door up and he's in there with all these naked women.
Yep.
And so they're like, it's time to leave. They're like, but do we have to?
It was a great shot. I mean, it was probably at least 20 or 30 naked women in there. I was just with them and everything else. It was a great shot. But
that was only in the UK version, right?
only in
Yes.
the UK. But apparently,
It was
I'm
only
the
UK
only one that watched that version too. But you said it's in the deleted scenes on the DVD.
Yeah, if you have the DVD, it's in the deleted scenes.
Yeah, so I didn't even realize it. But I don't know why they cut that out. I mean, it's
Well, when they
tried to trim down the movie.
when the English version was released, a lot of critics had a problem with the length, saying that it was too long at 2 hours. It was 135 minutes.
Yeah.
So 2 hours and 15 minutes. They felt that it was just too long,
Yeah,
which to me, I mean, you only cut 20 minutes out.
right.
I mean, with 20 minutes, it's a big amount. I mean, that's 10% of the film.
Yeah, and that could take out plot holes and stuff like that.
So they took so when it got released in the States and renamed it to Pirate Radio, they like I said, it reduced it down to I think it was 117 minutes, and they cut out that scene with the women.
What? It's an hour and 57 minutes. You said, what did you say?
An hour and 57 minutes is 117 minutes.
Oh, I thought you said an hour and 17 minutes.
Yeah.
No,
Sorry.
it's 117.
And there was another in the other scene where they all went bar hopping,
is hard.
basically.
Yeah. So the
The night before the other dude was going to get married to that
yeah.
chick.
So when they did the stag party scene in the U.S. version, the only scene that you saw for the stag party was when they went to Abbey Road. In the U.K. version, they went bar hopping. They did all sorts of different things.
Where you see,
it was
what's the actor's name? You said the one, the Irish one. What's
Chris O'Dowd.
Yeah, he comes out basically just in his fucking whitey tighties,
what is
basically,
his underwear.
right on the stairway, and just like putting his hands out, all happy and drunk and everything else.
Yeah.
And you see them all tumbling, and
Looked
I
like they
think
played leapfrog one time.
weren't the
I mean, it's
Count and
just-
Gavin like fighting at one point or something like that?
Oh yeah,
Or-
they got like a huge fist fight, and then next minute they're hugging each other and saying "I'm sorry." And it's just like yeah,
yeah, just
So-
good times at the bar.
yeah. So
I mean,
it's to me, like I said, I wish I'd
kept
seen
it
that
in.
version because I think it probably would have been. I would have liked it.
it was a fun scene. It reminded me of the World's End, when they're going bar hopping and everything else. But it was just them just going to bar and just getting drunk and just they're all like tumbling in the road, like walking down in an alleyway, and they're all like falling over on each other and stuff like that. It was great. I love that scene. So I'm glad I got to see this scene, this version.
Yeah. So they fighting the government, things like that, and of course, there's a lot of stuff you're not supposed to do on radio. And one of the funniest scenes, I love the scene, is where the Count is broadcasting saying he's getting ready to say the F word.
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna do the F word, and Quentin has to come running in and shut him down and say you can't say it. So
All right, so this was the deal. I asked all of you to demand of me to do a very foolish thing. You sent in ideas in their millions, but one idea has defeated them all. So I'm proud to announce I will soon be the first person to say the F word on rock and roll radio in the United Kingdom of Great Britain. All right, my aim is not to offend, it is to entertain, but also perhaps to educate a little. Because if you shoot a bullet, someone dies. When you drop a bomb, many die. If you hit a woman, love dies. But if you say the F word, nothing actually happens. So here it comes, especially for you, the F word. First, though, this very fine piece of music.
You can't do this.
Why not? It's just a word.
Charming thought, but here's the simple situation. The authorities already dislike us. If you do this, they will hate us, and by hook or by crook, they'll find a way to close us
Yeah,
down.
they can't close us down. We're pirates. That's why we're sitting out here in the middle of the friggin' ocean.
Believe me, they will find a way. Governments loathe people being free.
Okay.
That's called force.
Okay. I'm thinking about it. Okay. My dear comrades, I have some sad news. The powers that be have decreed that the F word is a word too far. But at least for now, even though our dreams of freedom have died a tragic death, the Hollies are still alive.
Thank you.
I don't know why he did that. I was just gonna say fuck once. You know, one tiny little fuck.
There's no such thing as a tiny little fuck. Be that as it may, there's no fuck so small it won't fuck us up. One day, in a world of dreams, you'll be able to say wank or bollocks or even cock on the radio, but fuck.
Excuse me, your lordship.
Yes,
Love
sir.
Bill Nye.
Lift your mic up in the studio.
Oh. Go ahead. I do apologize, sir. We're not
Reminds
for
me
the
of
4. Or was it 5? It was 5. F words, Quinn. The Hollies will continue undisturbed. Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry about that, Quinn. But you know, I thought you sounded good. You have a lovely voice for radio. That makes it 6. Quinn, it couldn't have turned out better, in my opinion.
reminds me of when South Park was getting ready to say shit on televised, you know, on TV. It's like that the big deal. Everything was made up about it, and then they put a fucking counter.
Yeah.
And the fucking thing shit like 132 times on fucking broadcast TV. You're like, this is the world we're living in now.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Actually, I think that's actually used in TV a lot more.
Now
Shit.
it is, yes.
Yeah.
But
In the past, it wasn't.
No.
Yeah.
That's why it was such a big fucking deal.
That was one of the 7 words. I
Yeah.
mean, there was like 7 words you just were not supposed to say.
7 words you can't say on TV. I believe George Carlin.
George Carlin.
George Carlin.
God.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that I think South Park was the first, like the rules were getting changed, and after a certain time at night, they changed it so you could on public television and like that.
They changed everything, basically almost anything R-rated after 10 o'clock p.m. or something like that, and it's with the mature rating. On the bottom.
And with the way South Park was able to churn and burn fucking shit like that, they're like, okay, so this is changing. Fuck yeah, we're making an episode. It's dropping Sunday. It's gonna have all the fucking words. Right. All of it. And that was just a massive fucking deal to see, shit in the little counter. Bing.
Yep.
Shit. Ding, 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 ding. Oh my God.
They got away with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's like, what was it in John Wick 2? Was it where they had the kill counter?
Yeah,
One of the
John Wick
one of the
too.
John Wicks, there was, or it may have been one of the versions that I saw where they had a kill counter where every time he killed somebody, it was like dink, 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 and it was like there was a huge fight scene. It was like
It was probably like a YouTube video or something
Yeah,
like that. Yeah,
so
that's pretty cool.
yeah.
But Bill Nye though is hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I've actually learned to appreciate Bill Nye more in the last couple years, seeing a lot more movies. He was in the what was the series with the werewolves? Underworld series, of course, Davy Jones. But anything he's in, I'm happy. He's also in all of Simon Pegg and Nick Frost movies. The Cornetto trilogy. He's in the whole Cornetto trilogy, isn't he? All 3 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just always plays a fun character. He was even great in Love Actually. I actually enjoyed his character in Love Actually more than the whole movie
Actually?
itself. Love Actually.
Yeah.
Did I say it right?
Yeah.
And he did a great job bringing science to the kids. A great job.
So one of the other storylines in the movie was young Carl, where he was brought onto the ship
Carl.
because
Who was his dad?
Bob.
Bob.
So it was
dad.
Bob.
It
Bob
was.
was his dad.
Bob did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I couldn't figure that out.
No,
because
his mom confirmed it.
Okay. See,
When
I
he
missed
first
that.
he was trying to
Did she tell you that?
he was trying to think that it was Quentin,
Yeah.
and she was like, "No, it wasn't Quentin." And then
Didn't he also think it was Gavin at one point?
No,
No.
Okay, because
No,
I know
it's
He
Gavin
only
did with all
thought
the
it was
women.
Quentin. He only thought it was
He
Quentin.
only thought
Okay.
it was Quentin.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Bob made
yeah.
a comment. I guess when he said that his mom was coming on here, he said to tell her something.
Muddy Waters
Muddy
rocks.
Waters.
Muddy
Yeah.
Water, right? So when he told her that, she was like, "Oh,
So I just found out a little something, just because, speaking of music and stuff like that. So Chevy Chase, all right, he played drums when he was in college in a band, and apparently he was pretty decent at it, and was said to keep good time and funny guy and stuff like that. Decent musician. He ended up quitting the band and telling the guys to go find somebody who could actually play drums well, even though he he could and stuff like that. That band then went on to form Steely Dan.
oh, geez."
So Chevy Chase could have been a part of fucking Steely Dan.
Are you serious?
I just thought that was fucking wild.
Where'd you
And
find that out?
It's been confirmed by both the founding members of Steely Dan. Like, yeah, it's 100% fucking true. Absolutely played with him. He was decent. He was absolutely decent. But
So technically he was a founding.
But
Band member.
it wasn't Steely
It
Dan.
wasn't
It was
Steely Dan,
a
yeah.
different band.
Right.
And but they went on to eventually become Steely Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was still Pickpocket Dan then.
Cat burglar.
So, but yeah, I just saw that and I was like, yeah, that's interesting. So he could have went on to become famous and not been a dick. I mean, maybe that'd be weird.
Chevy Chase is always known to be a dick, but I fucking love Chevy Chase. He's
I do
funny.
too.
He's hilarious. Good. At least I find somebody who because a lot of people do not like Chevy.
Like who?
Chase. I didn't say it. Did I? Did I finish it?
No.
Did I say it?
I heard Chase.
Do you think you finished it?
You guys got to vote
Do
on that one.
you think you finished it?
I said the beginning of the alphabet or the first letter of his name, but I didn't say it all the way through. So I don't think I get punished. But
Okay.
unless you want to do a vote, that's not fine with me. Yeah, you can call a vote. So phew, that was close. But Chase hates Chevy Chase. Chase hates Chevy. I didn't even realize that. Chase and Chevy Chase. I just realized that now. Funny. Random.
You're so special.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
So special.
I love you too, brother.
I mean, I don't love him either, but I like
I'm just
him.
impressed.
I like his
caught
movies.
himself. That's
It's very hard. I mean, we've actually been pretty good about not getting spicy boners in the show because we've gotten pretty much used to it.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, things will pop out.
I think
like
Chevy Chase
I was
has great comedic timing.
last week you got toasted.
Yeah, I got fucked in that show.
You said the same name twice in 2 seconds.
I almost puked on him.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I missed all that.
Oh
Yeah.
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 I was getting ready to. He had all his computers set up over here, and so he was like, he turned first and realized I can't puke on the computers. So then he turned to me, and I'm like,
Oh, dude.
I'm getting ready to dive that way. And okay, so who's sitting next to me? Sammy.
Yeah.
I almost did it. Sammy was sitting next to me, and I'm like, how am I going to get past her to where we both don't get nailed?
It was bad.
It was
because
bad.
I had to take a chaser like real quick, but I
What
think
was
it was
like, what did it for you?
it was a cock shot, but Crystal made it.
What was in it?
I don't remember. I remember it just
Oh,
had some,
It was the tamarind stuff.
but it was tamarind, but it was also two other things
Yeah.
in there, and it just the mixture. Right when it went down my throat, I was just like I almost did.
tamarind.
It was close.
Yeah, you know how he starts like bobbing? Yeah, oh yeah, he was bobbing.
It was bad. It was bad. I got
Gonna have
punished
to
a
listen
lot.
to that episode to find out the right mix.
I think Crystal's already saved it. She says, "Oh, I found a new drink to fuck you up," and I'm like, "Good, fuck." So yeah, Crystal was enjoying herself that night. She was making some interesting drinks.
Yep. So young Mark gets sent to the boat. No, I'm sorry. Not Mark. Young Carl gets sent to the boat because I think he got caught smoking in school.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think his
both.
wife, and he got kicked out for
Both.
smoking in school.
Cigarettes or drugs?
It was both.
Yeah. So got sent to the. I mean,
A great introduction to
what kind of parent would send their kid?
to Bill Nye's character and Carl and stuff like that. Great introduction. My God, my
godson.
So yeah, have we met before? Because there was a lost decade. That's fucking amazing, right? And it fits so well. It tells you who this character is immediately off the fucking jump. And then you get the sense of who Carl is, the way he's carrying himself. And I'm like, this is a way to introduce people.
But he got fucked with, especially by Nick Frost's character.
Oh yeah.
That I was not expecting that, especially the part when Nick Frost and the Emma Thompson were about to fuck when they had all the girls over on the boat and stuff like that, and he was trying to get him to fuck her also, like do almost like a threesome type of thing. And he was in the bathroom hiding underneath the towels, and then he goes back in the room.
No.
That wasn't
Emma Thompson.
No,
That was
Emma
Mary Ann.
Thompson was his mom.
Emma Thompson was his mom.
You're right. I'm sorry.
But you're just thinking of when he
the younger one. The younger one.
You think
Mary Ann.
Yeah.
No.
one
He
of
wasn't
the
hiding underneath the towels with Marianne. It was
It was.
No,
it was the
he
chick-
was-
it-
He was
no.
hiding under the
He
towel.
was
towel.
hiding
No, but
under
I'm
the
saying, that
towel.
wasn't Marianne. That he was hiding under the towels with. That was the chick
Oh.
That was
before.
some
That was
groupie.
before. That was
before
yeah.
Marianne was even introduced.
That was
just some random hoe.
No, but she's actually a known. It's a
was it Gemma Arterton?
Emma Thompson.
No.
was
It's
she-
Gemma Arterton.
I don't know. She's a well known. She was in Sucker Punch. I know that.
It wasn't January Jones.
It was
wasn't
Gemma.
She played a hoe though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Faux show. Desiree. Yeah. Gemma
Arterton.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll go with that. Arterton.
Emily Browning. Emily Browning was the chick. That's what I'm talking about. Emily Browning was the chick that that Nick Frost was going to fuck when he got all naked in and everything else. It was a skinny chick. You know who I'm talking about now?
Okay, I'm having to look at the names
I
here.
don't see Emily Brown.
Yeah, because she's very recognizable, and I've seen her. Yeah, Emily Browning, right here. Let's see. Yeah, Emily Browning, baby doll from Sucker Punch. She was also in a couple other movies and stuff like that.
I don't see her.
I don't think Emily Browning was in.
Yeah, that was Emily Browning. I guarantee that
I thought Desiree was the one that he was.
Emily Browning was the chick that Nick Frost was going to fuck. Let me see here. This movie came out what year? It came out in 2000. Let's see. Trying to see what 2009 Uninvited Trans Sucker Punch Sleepy. What the fuck? Maybe it wasn't her. I seriously thought it was her. It looked just like her.
No, I'm pretty sure this is it. is Gemma Arterton.
Yeah.
They look so fucking alike.
No, she doesn't. But by the way, you guaranteed that it was Emily Browning.
Yes, you did.
Does that not look like her?
You guaranteed it was Emily Browning.
I seriously thought.
You guaranteed.
All right,
it was Emily
I don't
Browning.
think she looks.
I'll
quite
spin
the
the wheel.
same, but-
I'll spin the wheel. I seriously.
Emily Browning, no,
Amy.
super recognizable.
Yeah, that's
Super
what it
recognizable.
looked like to me.
She did not look like her. No.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no,
I gotta get a
Gemma
punishment.
Arterton.
Yeah, they almost look alike. I'm sorry.
Because they're
But-
both white?
No, it's just the way their face and their
And they have
facial
brown
structure. I don't know. Give me the fucking wheel. I'll spin the wheel. God damn it. I was not expecting to get a punishment for that.
You guarantee. I was trying to give you an out. I'm like, no, you're looking at Sucker Punch.
Yeah.
That's a different cast.
Yeah, I got fucked on that one.
Grab something yummy.
Oh, well,
Oh, you got lucky.
There you go.
I'll grab something. Let's see what I got. Blue Chair Bay Key Lime Rum Cream. Ugh. I'm not a big fan of that, but I'll have to drink it. So, all right.
So,
Go ahead.
So
So,
you
so
didn't
anyway,
have
so-
to drink it. It said grab something yummy. It didn't say barrel punishment. It said grab something yummy. You could have looked and grabbed something yummy. But now you've already opened it, so now it would be a waste of alcohol. All right, just throw that out there for you.
Sorry,
You can
fuck.
still grab something yummy if you want.
Yeah,
But
but-
you still have to drink that.
If you grab something yummy, I would drink that.
I mean, you guys always tell me just grab something out of the barrel or something like that, or you always.
But once again, that's on you.
Oh God, I don't like key lime.
Sucks to be
Did you hear
you.
what I said?
So I'm basically getting punished here.
Because you
Hold on.
didn't
Hear what
do
I
what you
said?
fucking said.
she just gave you an out.
I said if you want to grab something yummy, I would try that. I would drink that for you since you opened
You're a
it.
sweetheart. I'll let you know.
I like key lime, even though it's probably too sweet. But
Was it Lana Davidson?
No, I'm pretty sure it was that Gemma.
Gemma Arterton.
Arterton.
Is this
the girl's name was
the
Desiree.
thing
I don't mind
says, Simon's T-shirt girl in the cast?
No, that was the one who saved him at the end on the boat with Simon's T-shirt girl.
Oh,
Remember at the end?
She had his name, and she goes, "You
Yeah.
got your name on my boobies."
okay. You're okay.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I remember that
Yeah.
scene.
yeah, that's Simon's T-shirt girl. Right.
That was a great scene, by the way. I was not expecting a sinking like that. Like I was not expecting that at the end of the movie.
Right.
I had forgotten all about that. I'd seen it such a long time ago.
Well, like I said, this is my first time seeing it. So
Yeah. But you were talking about how much Dave messed with Carl.
yeah.
How much of a dick was Dave to take Carl's date, his first date?
A big
I mean,
dick.
that's. I mean, come on now.
That was the biggest dick move in the world.
It was.
It was, but it did make me laugh when he asked him where if I can have a condom, and he said that he doesn't have any more. And he goes straight to Gavin, and I was like, of course Gavin's gonna have condoms. I mean, that guy. And I love how that went apart. But I'm sorry, what really got fucked is the dude that got married, and the woman just came on board,
Yes.
just to be with
Mark.
Gavin.
Yeah.
Or Gavin, yeah.
Yeah, that was fucked.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that at all.
But you guys want to give shit to Nick Frost, that was fucked what he did. It wasn't. In my opinion, he was saving young Carl. All right?
How
if,
so?
if that hoe was that fucking easy to get in bed, that at the time it took him to go get a condom, she was already fucking naked.
In bed.
In bed with Nick Frost's character, fucking spread open. All right? And come to find out later on in the movie that he fucked her 3 times that fucking night in the morning. All right? He was saving young Carl because Carl was already admitting to being falling head over
Right,
hell.
right, yeah.
He was in love with her. So he would have gotten with her and she absolutely still would have went out and fucked around. All right?
You got a point.
And then Carl was still
Yeah.
stupid enough and enough of a cuck to still take her back after that shit.
Good.
Oh, which scene was this?
The second one.
And yes, ladies and gentlemen of Great Britain, Carl has emerged from the Chamber of Love.
Carl, say hello to the 20 million people who've been waiting with bated breath to hear the news whether or not you have indeed misplaced your crucial cherry tonight. I think that's a yes. Is that a yes? And remember the reply. I don't want to answer that question means yes.
I'm certainly not going to answer that question.
We have liftoff.
Yes, news flash. A nice
love the
young
news
man
guy.
has lost his virginity in the North Sea.
That's awesome to have the whole crew right outside his door.
What I love
That
about
felt like such a great fucking time. Like the count would say later on, you know, that you come to realize the best days of your life. You're living the best days of your life, and that would definitely feel right for that time period, and everything like that. And the way Philip Seymour Hoffman was like, you know, it's a tragedy to actually recognize that these are the best days of your life.
Right.
So
well, the thing about this what I love about this movie is that this is like a family on this boat, and it's just showing all their
very fucked up family.
Yeah, but they're having a good time. All these DJs, and they all have different personalities. You got the count, especially when you have the hot count going against Gavin. I love their little beef between each other. And when they do that whole fucking chicken going up on the top of the mast and everything else and jumping off, and they both fucking broke. One of them broke their leg, and the other one broke their.
Gavin came out on top of that.
Yeah, he did. Well, he hurt his leg, but I mean, it was great. But the whole crew just all together, it was just a family. I would love to be on that boat. It just seems like good times and partying. I mean, I could see you hanging out on that boat.
I would have had a great fucking time.
Be a DJ.
I would have had a great fucking time.
Yeah.
But honestly, I probably would have ended up being more like Bob, just fucking about the music, just, all right, like, and then go and do all the drugs and fucking drinking and everything like that. And it's like, all right, I'm having a good time.
I'm only going to work between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m.
That reminds me. That reminds me of the scene with Bob is when he's about to drown, or where he's the boat is sinking and everything, and he's grabbing onto the Grateful Dead album and everything else.
After he finally found it.
And he's like going through it when it's underwater, which was a funny scene. I thought he was actually going to die in the movie. I had no idea because I never seen
was
it.
that a Dead album? That the final album that he grabbed, was that a Dead album?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
I didn't see exactly what it was.
I know it was a
through
Dead
that
in the
whole thing to
beginning.
grab that Dead album out of that box.
I knew it was a Dead album in the beginning, something like that. But I didn't know, that didn't look quite right to me as one of the Dead albums that I can remember. The final one that he grabbed that ended up being that.
I thought it was Grateful Dead.
Count this. Nick Frost like, oh, this is garbage. This sucks. And fucking threw it.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm mistaken, but I really thought it was a different album. I really did.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
I love how they're walking through, and you're like, Carl's just saved him from his room, and they're walking through, and Carl jumps on the ladder, climbing up. Watch the hole.
Yes.
And you see him
Just falling down the hole.
it just disappears.
One hole, then another hole, another hole. I'm like, oh, that sucks. And Bob just sitting there like,
How many floors did he sink down?
The record that Bob grabs during the sinking the Incredible String Band, the 5,000 Spirits of the Layers of the Onion.
so
It wasn't. Yeah, you were right.
Yeah.
It wasn't
There we
Grateful
go.
Dead. Yeah, it's called the 5,000 Spirits or the Layers of the
The
Onion.
Dead's albums are very recognizable, and that was like pretty sure that wasn't a fucking Dead album.
Okay.
All right, I did see a
But he
Dead
was
album.
listening to a Grateful Dead album. Okay,
yes.
so that's what I thought
And
it was.
That's why he was said. You know, in
Yeah.
the beginning, he was messing around with the Dead album, and there was a Dead album in that collection.
Yeah.
but that wasn't a Dead album that he ended up being happy to grab. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, like you said, it was funny when Nick Frost when he just took that up and said, "Oh, this album sucks."
That's
anyways.
horrible album.
Just throws it out. I thought that was kind of funny. I liked Bob. I thought Bob, he was kind of like the night DJ, basically when everybody's sleeping. That's why nobody ever
like
saw
I said,
him.
from 2 to 6.
Yeah, that part when they're all like
Who are
having
you?
breakfast, like where did you?
And him just to randomly be down there, and like he's afraid to be down there. He's like,
Right. He's getting his food, and literally everybody is staring at him because they're like, "Who is this?"
But he tried talking. He tried being a part of the group. Yeah. All right, like his therapist fucking challenged him. All right, so I want you to go down and actually interact with people. I don't know. I'm gonna try. All right, but no, he did really well. And then I'm just trying to imagine though how he must have been with Carl's mom, back in the fucking day, because she definitely seemed like she was a wild child.
She,
All right,
she spread her legs around.
but no, it definitely seemed like you would have had to have some pull in order to get somebody. She was like high class tail.
Right.
All right, and I'm just imagining what the fuck happened to Bob, where he was able to pull that younger version,
Right.
and for him to end up that way.
Yeah.
Unless he got on all the acid.
Yeah.
all the fucking acid and just burned himself out.
Or you could tell that he was a burnout. I mean, you could definitely tell. I mean, he was quiet. I mean, he was a very, very strong hippie, basically. That's what he was. So,
Yep. So throughout the movie, of course, Normandy and Twat spent everything they could figure out to try to shut them down. They tried going after their supporters, which backfired. Going after their sponsors, which backfired.
Yep.
Finally, the only way they could get at them is that there was a boat that had an accident and was not able to broadcast a distress signal because their radio signal was overpowering it.
Right.
So
If it actually happened.
yes,
Because the way he phrased it, that
Yes.
I have a report
I have a report.
that states that
Right.
there was an accident and that there wasn't a signal that could come through.
Right.
It was one of those things that maybe it did happen, maybe it didn't happen,
So
but I
that's-
have a report that says it did.
Yep. So that's when they created the Maritime Broadcasting Offense Act.
Yes.
Which means that they had to shut down.
So that act was real.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the
That-
Maritime
that was a
Broadcast
real
Offense
thing.
Act of 1967.
How many
Yes.
years was it active?
The act?
Yeah.
Actually, the ban on the pirate radio. Well, actually, the ban on the music. Okay, so I don't have my normal trivia stuff. What I did is I did what Take on the World does, and I looked at the true history of what happened during that time,
Mhm.
and why these pirate radios were there. And it wasn't so much about the music; it was more about the commerce, the commercials.
Right.
It was more about the government wanted that money. So they felt like these pirate radios, because not all of these pirate radios were playing rock and roll music.
Right.
Some of them, in fact, the Radio Caroline, which is pretty much what this was based off of, they would play anything from Sinatra to rock. So it was more like a college station
Yeah.
in that way than anything
Well,
else.
I think this boat on pirate radio actually played different musics because some of the DJs, not all the
Right.
DJs were rock DJs.
Yeah.
So you know, like you're saying, is every DJ I think had their own
Style.
genre of music that they would play.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do think it was mostly rock. I mean, it was even named, the boat was named Radio Rock.
Yeah.
I mean, they kept talking about
Motown, 60s. I mean, a whole bunch of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Elvis.
Now, what your definition of rock is, maybe
I think it's developed
slightly
I think
different.
It's
Right.
I think it's
Yeah.
it's evolved throughout the years compared to what rock was back then. It's evolved to a whole bunch different types of rock.
Yeah.
You know, you got soft rock, you got hard rock, I mean, there's all different types.
I mean, you had the Hueys, you had the Kinks, you had Hendrix, you had
Yeah.
all different styles of rock. So, but I do think it was everybody that played on Radio Rock was they were playing mostly a rock. So,
Yeah.
So,
I'm
Well,
sure. I'm wondering if
geared
they
it towards that for the story.
right.
Yeah, for the story, it was rock and roll. But on regular BBC British owned radio, they would play 45 minutes of rock and roll a day. That was it. That's all you got.
45
So
minutes.
they were playing rock and roll on the radio, but it was very limited.
That's interesting.
The Radio Caroline only operated for 3 years. It was from 64 to 67. And then they passed the act and it shut them down.
right.
But there were dozens of these boats out there floating around. At least a dozen of them floating around in British waters, and they would be 3 miles offshore because that's international waters then.
Right.
But there was another movie like this, and there was Radio Atlanta, Wonderful Radio London, Radio Invicta, Radio Such, Radio Essex, and Radio 270. And they were all on repurposed rigs. They weren't on boats. They were on these rigs that are offshore. They were abandoned. So they just went out to these rigs and set up their radio station on these rigs. But there's another movie based on a pirate radio station on one of the rigs. And I don't remember the name of the movie. But that's out there as well. But so they were also shut down at the same time.
Right.
From the same Maritime Act. but it was more about the commerce. The government felt that they were losing money and revenue because they weren't getting the advertising dollars because people wanted to hear what these people were playing because it was more free than what the because you have the BBC.
Right.
For the longest one, you had BBC and BBC One.
Yeah.
Those are the only two channels you got in Britain, Great Britain.
Interesting.
And on the TV.
Yeah.
And that programming was what you got. And BBC News was the news you got. So it was government controlled. Whatever they told you, that's what you had to believe because that's all you were told. The same thing with their radio stations. But a few years after, by 1970, a lot of those restrictions were lifted, and they had commercial radio stations in Great Britain by then.
Interesting. How many radio stations are there in Britain right now? Because nothing is uncut right now on radio over there, right? They don't have any acts or anything like that. They can listen to just about anything.
I think so, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it's gone more towards like similar to what US is, where you still have to have a license.
Yeah.
So the license is going to be controlling everything. So
there are still the government radio, government stations like BBC and stuff like that. But then you have a fuck ton of other private,
private but
entities.
licensed.
Yeah.
So they're still
But the news is still controlled.
Yeah.
Yes.
The
But,
news-
but even the channels themselves, you got BBC One, BBC Two, BBC Three, and they
Yeah.
still have a lot of your major English programs. Are through those. Fucking Doctor Who is on one of the BBC channels. But you do have the other privately owned stations of both radio and television. But the government is still the big dog on the block.
Yeah. Yeah.
So another difference between the U.S. and the English version was that in the English version, did you see the other boat when they went on to?
Oh, the fishing boat.
There was another radio boat. It was Radio Sunshine, and it had James Corden. Did you see that?
No, that one was cut
not
out.
in there. Okay, so that was
cut
completely
out. Yeah,
Okay.
because I actually went on the trivia, and that one was actually cut out of the movie with the actor and everything.
Okay, so that was a deleted scene. I was wondering if that was in the English version.
Yeah, that's not in the version.
It was called Radio Sunshine, and James Corden, a very young James Corden, was a DJ on that boat. And the guys from Radio Rock went to that boat and sabotaged it because they didn't want them competing against them. So they glued down their carts. They swapped labels on music. So, I mean,
That's a dick move.
Oh, yeah, that was
That's a dick move.
but they only on the air for 12 hours a day. So the 12 hours that they weren't broadcasting is when these guys went and sabotaged their boat. So the next day when they went to go broadcast, all hell broke loose.
Yeah, that wasn't in the British version. So that was actually completely deleted because I remember reading about that scene.
Yep.
Was it a long deleted scene?
It was probably about 5 minutes long.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting to watch. I'm gonna have to go online and take a look at the deleted scenes because I'm just curious what didn't make it and what did make it in the British cut.
Right.
Because I think there was, like I said, there was multiple scenes. There was the bar hopping scene, the scene inside with the guy with all the chicks and everything else. But I think there was also some other scenes too.
So in the British version, did the meaning of life scene make it in? Because I was watching some
It is a
deleted
very
scenes today,
James Corden.
and they had a meaning of life scene with Carl and who was the big DJ when he came back. Everybody was happy.
Gavin.
Oh yeah, I watched that.
They were sitting up on deck talking, and Carl asked him, when you left, where did you go? And he said, well, I traveled and I did this and this, and he was talking about the meaning of life. But that wasn't
the British version.
Okay,
yeah,
that was a good scene.
Yeah. Okay, so that's curious. It's just
He ended
weird
up
how they
in some
cut that stuff
bar and he
out.
was dancing with some black dude, and
Yeah.
but it was actually a pretty cool scene. I think it would have made sense if they had left it in the American version.
That's why I always love extended cuts of movies because you get to see the scenes that were never in it, and it's really cool that this was actually the original version. But which title do you like better, Pirate Radio or The Boat That Rocked?
I like Pirate Radio.
How about you? Yeah, I think Pirate Radio fits the movie more. The Boat That Rocked just doesn't sound engaging. The Pirate Radio sounds cool. I mean, Pirates Radio and everything else.
The Boat That Rocked sounds like a working title.
It sounds like they were in a storm.
Yeah.
The Boat That Rocked.
But yeah, it just sounds like it's a working title. It doesn't sound like it's the final.
Yeah.
So
If I had never heard pirate radio, The Boat That Rocked would be a good title. But once you hear pirate radio, I'm like, no, that blows it
better.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once the Maritime Act became official, they were forced and had to shut down.
Not.
I think
So, faithful followers, the end is nigh. We bid you farewell with dignity and pride. We thought we'd never die, but, well, you can't fight City Hall. And so, take care, be good. Listen to the music. It's a good thing to do. It's the count. Counting down and out for the count at last. 3, 2, 1. And the rest is silence.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Tony. Well done, Tony.
Thank you, sir.
The Queen.
Her Majesty's government.
Only kidding, dude!
I love all the montage scenes whenever they are playing a song and you just see all the listeners that it goes through. You even see like just people just like in everyday life, even the fucking secretary to the guy that tried to shut him down.
right.
Was even listening to the radio station. A fucking girl sitting on the toilet constantly.
Well, she was the reason she was is she was told to. The secretary was told to monitor the station to listen,
but she was enjoying it.
Oh, she was enjoying it.
That's the thing.
But she was doing her job though. She was told to monitor it, to listen for anything that they could be used against them.
Yeah.
So yes, but she was enjoying it.
You're a great montage.
Yeah, she loved her job.
Yeah.
I love how when he says psych and that the stuffy freaking bureaucrat starts taking the champagne back from everybody.
We are not celebrating.
Turn that off.
Damn you, twat.
Fucking love that. And that's actually another, what was the actor's name that played Twat? Because he's actually in a lot of other movies. He was actually in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Yeah.
He was in The Talented Mr. Ripley. He did a good job for what he did. But
Jack Davenport.
yes, he's so many great actors in this movie. So many good ones. So
once they realized they started back up, they knew government's coming after us.
Yep.
So we've got to move.
This is the part I didn't understand. They got the boat moving. I remember they had listeners helping them so they can, kind of hide, move their boat away. Because I remember they did try to take over one of the boats, and it was a fishing boat.
Well, the fishing boat, I don't know if it was the guy that essentially the guy that was on that fishing boat was the guy that was ferrying people back and forth.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, so I guess he owned a fishing boat also, and so he moved his boat into where they normally were docked.
Yeah, but what did the boat hit that was starting to make them sink? Did they hit something?
No, their engine exploded.
Yeah.
So that's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
They had been parked there for so long
that the engine just was toast.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, like we're working.
I have to work now.
But the engine exploded and blew a hole inside the boat.
Which was funny because they were all just like, man, I really enjoy this sailing. It feels good to actually be moving. Pow! And just the whole boat.
Right.
I was not expecting that at all. Like I did not expect a sinking boat at the end of this movie.
Yeah. And of course, Quentin said, I got good news and bad news. What's the good news? We're all going to die.
The engine exploded. We're all going to die.
What's the bad news? It's how we're going to die. We're going to freeze our asses off in the North Sea.
Oh, and then poor Angus is like, I can't swim.
I can't swim.
That's Reese, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He was kind of funny. He was, like I said, he was like the comedian, also the one that never gets the women or something like that.
Yeah.
But I thought that that was great.
I watched one of the deleted scenes where do you remember the scene where they threw him?
Yeah.
Off the boat, but there's a longer scene. I don't know if it was in the.
That wasn't in the.
It was one of the deleted scenes. Like they threw him in the water, and they were like, "Oh, like he's not coming up here." And like Carl came out with tea and beer or something, and they took the tea and beer, and they were like, "Carl, you want to save him or something?"
No, that wasn't in the British cut. God damn!
It even went on to where they were up, like all wrapped up in with the girl, and she was making them like stuff to eat.
Yeah, it's like it's how you throw a kid in the water. You grab arms and legs and just 1, 2, 3, and you throw him in the water, and they go, "Oh, that only works with children."
And you also got to see with the lesbian cook who actually gets laid by the other chick,
the other girl
that came with the other one, and I thought that was kind of.
She's a fun actress too.
What other movies has she been in?
So she was in the IT TV show, the IT Crowd. She was also did a season of Taskmaster. She's been in other ones.
Yes, I've never seen her in anything.
She's a comedian.
I mean, most of the actors that I've seen, like I already knew Gavin. I've seen him in a lot of movies. She's actually in the Game of Thrones House of the Dragon as Hightower. Love him in that. He's great in that. But then you got the Reese guy. He's in another HBO show, which is about gay pirates, apparently.
So she was in Humans TV show.
I think he was also in Jumanji movies.
That one.
So, and then of course Nick Frost. I mean, there's a lot of British actors in here, and then Philip Seymour Hoffman. It was really weird how they got him to be in this, being the only American. And I love how when they said that, I don't have to follow these laws. I'm an American.
Right.
It doesn't bother me. I'm still going to do it. He was dedicated. And I fucking love that about him.
Well, he realized that
She was in Sherlock.
I thought he was going to go down with a boat at one point.
I mean,
when he was sitting on the boat earlier in the movie,
English stuff,
and he realized that this is the best it was going to be for him.
Yeah.
And he knew that if he went anywhere else, it wasn't going to be like this.
Right.
He knew how free he was and what he was able to, and he loved what he was doing.
Yeah.
So, and it showed when the boat exploded. He was, like you said, he told everybody, he goes, "Well, I'm staying on the air. I'm going to broadcast until I can't."
Yep.
And so everybody's packing their stuff. Carl's trying to find Bob and save him from drowning.
Yeah, that scene, like I said, that's another scene that really got me because I actually thought Bob was going to die.
Right in the hole.
Yeah, because they were underwater for a long time.
Oh, yeah. There's no way I can hold my breath that long.
Are they both going to fucking die? What's going on here? And then he's looking for a fucking record and he gets out of there. It's like, oh, okay, he lives. But I was expecting him to die. I thought he was going to go down and they were trying to make something dramatic about it. But
maybe if you take a lot of drugs, you can hold your breath for a long time.
That was a long, 2-3 minutes underwater. I mean, it was like, what the fuck's going on here? I mean, and the boat's sinking when it's happening, so they're running out of air and everywhere above them. So,
And he wasn't even trying to get out; he was just trying to find that record.
He was more worried about the fucking record, the fucking Onion record, whatever the fuck it was called. But yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah. So Gavin and the Count both decided that they're going to work. They're going to stay on together until the very end. So
I loved both of their chemistry together because they were kind of like they hated each other, but then they loved each other. They were basically
they respected how much each other loved what they were doing.
Oh yeah.
Even though they did it completely different, they both loved what they were doing.
Well, when he came on board, he took him as a threat.
Yeah,
like you're kind of taking over it because the Count was more of he felt like he was like the leader of this, and then Gavin comes on board and it's like taking it away from him basically. Right. So he felt much of a threat about it.
So they both felt ownership because Gavin was the big swinging dick years prior in the beginning of it. Then he went off to America.
Yeah.
Then the Count came from America and basically took over the role that was vacated by Gavin.
Right.
Yeah.
Then, because of having problems with the advertisers, Boss Man reaches out to Gavin and says, "Hey, need your ass back here because everybody loved you." So he came back and thereby made Count feel threatened of the situation, and also Gavin was big swinging dick. I mean,
he was.
Even though I really felt like he went to America, more than likely failed horribly, and that's why he
had
was
no problem
available.
coming back.
Yes,
right.
He was probably like out there fucking busting tables or some bullshit.
But do you think? Do you think Philip Seymour Hoffman, the Count, was? Do you think he failed in America because he went over there, or do you feel like he had more freedom? Because I feel America had a lot more freedom with radio than over in Britain. So that's what I think I don't understand. I'm sure was he a DJ in America? Was there anything about him?
Well, I think when Gavin, again, this is just me guessing. When Gavin said, "I'm going to leave and go to America," Quentin probably reached out to an American DJ and said, "Hey, I will pay you good money to come and broadcast here."
Yeah.
And so that's probably how he got the Count there. And then the Count was just like, "This is freaking awesome. I can do what I want, pretty much." So then that's why he grew his, loved what he did and grew his following.
Yeah.
So you can go ahead and play the
sinking?
fourth one. Yeah.
Twice in a night. 3 times. Count up. Hey, Mom. Hey.
Oh dear.
That is not a good record. Well, I think it's time we find out. Come on.
To all our listeners, this is what I have to say. God bless you all.
Perfect song to be in the
As for you
background.
bastards in charge, don't dream it's over. Years will come, years will go, and politicians will just fuck off to make the world a better place. But all over the world, young men and young women will always dream dreams and put those dreams into song. Nothing important dies tonight. It's a few ugly guys on a crappy ship. The only sadness tonight is that in future years, there'll be so many fantastic songs that it will not be our privilege to play. But believe you me, they will still be written. They will still be sung. And they will be the wonder of the world. Hit it.
I think we gotta go.
Okay, do what you gotta do. Chicken.
I love him and Gavin. I love it. That scene right there, just both of them. Gavin and the Count, they were my favorite characters in this movie. I fucking love both those guys. But I would have to pick one though. I'd probably go with Gavin. Gavin was great. Yeah. He was just so much fun. But I enjoy the Count too. He was just great. But like I said, their chemistry together, just the battling DJs right there was great.
Yeah. Mine, if I had to pick my favorite, well, I'll ask everybody what their favorite is, but mine's gonna be the Count.
The Count.
Yeah. Philip Seymour Hoffman's.
He was good.
Yeah. It just good. So what would yours be, Stu?
Thick Kevin. Anytime he was on the fucking screen, he just, my God, damn, that's Ron.
Carl and
Carl
and Marianne are in their bunk, and all of a sudden you hear like something crinkling. He's like, Kevin, get out.
I'm not even 100% sure what the fuck Thick Kevin did on the boat. All right, I think he took pictures based on what was hanging on the wall and stuff like that. But I don't know what the fuck his job was. I wouldn't trust him to be an engineer.
No. What are the guys that are in radio? They're basically they go to for like college credit or something like that. What is it? Intern? I think they were interns.
No. Nobody's getting college credit for this.
No.
Okay. Well, I felt like that's what they did, like an intern type of job. Basically, they're doing all the gopher, go get the things, do this and that. Because
he may have been a gopher, but he ain't an intern.
No.
Okay. No.
Well, he was smart that one time when he figured out. That's
When he
why
was drunk.
No,
when he was drunk.
When he was drunk.
Yeah, he was said, alcohol actually sharpens my brain.
Right.
So I was thinking.
Since
it wasn't me, then it must be. Like,
how about you, Mike?
And he
Who's your
figured
favorite?
out that his mom put him on
Probably
there because of the dad.
Probably Count.
Yeah.
The Count?
Yeah. He just the character was played so well, and I did like the animosity between him and Gavin, and like just the way he was threatened. Like he like as soon as he came on a boat, he was threatened in his place, and right away he's like, okay, let's play chicken.
Yeah,
let's do it.
He's doing it to defend his friend's honor, and then when he's up there, I don't even like him. Why am I doing this?
I don't think he realized that he was going to do it. I think he was like, he's not going to follow me up here. He was like, oh,
no, he did.
Shit, he followed
But
me.
it looked like he was.
But he still went through with it.
Oh yeah,
he had a hard time though, because at one point it looked like he was about to fall off. And
I know.
But also, if I'm looking at the two of them, I'm like,
one's fat, one's skinny.
Carl, I don't think this is the thing for you. I'm not putting my money on Carl or on Count on this one. I'm not putting my money on him. That's a poor choice there, Count.
Yeah,
a poor choice. You could have done some music off or some shit like that.
Yeah,
climbing, a physical activity doesn't seem up Count's alley.
Who's your favorite character,
Anna?
My favorite was Angus. They were just so mean to him, and he was kind of funny. I don't know why I liked him so much.
Okay.
I don't know.
I like the one scene, and again, this may have been
I
one of the
can't
cut.
swim.
It was another cut scene where they had all these people coming onto the boat. It was all a bunch of fans and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they had all of the DJs standing up on an upper level, and he was introducing all the DJs. And they would introduce
that wasn't the British version.
Was it in the British version?
That was the
Okay.
British version.
Okay,
yeah.
so when he was introducing everybody, everybody's cheering and everybody's cheering. And he goes, and Angus, and it's just crickets.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was in the British version.
Or like
So I
when
mean,
they-
you said it was like over 20 minutes cut out.
Yeah.
So I mean, I could see all the scenes piling up that you're talking about.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm glad I watched that version.
Yeah.
I'm actually like I own a copy of it, but I want to buy it on streaming. But I'm sure on streaming they only have the American version. So I probably have to go.
Probably.
I'm sure there's like a director's cut on Blu-ray or something like that because I'm willing to buy it because I really enjoyed this.
Maybe
movie.
we do a search for the boat that rocked. You know, it's English.
There
guys.
is. I did that on Amazon the other night, and I see it, but I don't know if it is a. You know how there's regions.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would
region locked.
Yeah, I think it's region locked. So I don't know if it would it would work.
I have ways of getting around that.
VPN. Yeah.
No, not even
Yeah.
that. Even when it comes to a Blu-ray, trust me. I mean,
Yeah.
just have to have
There's
a
ways.
computer.
There's ways around it.
What's it? The boat that rocked?
The boat that rocked. Yeah. So while I was looking that up, boat explodes. Unfortunately, the music stops because
No, you can buy it. You
gets
can buy the
waterlogged.
boat that rocked on Apple TV. There's 2 versions available.
Is there? Oh, cool.
Yeah,
So,
but
What's
it goes
the
by
runtime?
that. It goes by that title.
yeah,
What's the runtime on them?
that's what you gotta look at.
Let me check. You guys go ahead and talk about it.
So, Twat asks, "Should I send? Can I send help?" He wanted to send out
Yes.
boats. That hey, these guys are going down. They're going to die. And the guy was like, "Nope,
We're not going to waste our
we're
money
not.
on that.
We've got better places to spend our money." And so it's like all we know is these guys are going to die. And was it who was it? Was it Simon? I think crawled to the very top as the boat's pitching up, almost like Titanic like. He calls the tide. He crawls up to the top and he looks over and he goes, "There's a boat."
Yeah.
And they're like,
Wait.
there's a boat. How many? And he goes, "All of them." And there's just a fleet of rowboats and every little boat you can think of.
Yeah.
And it's their fans coming out to rescue them.
In my head, he said there was a fuck ton, but
Yeah, no, that's what it would
Yeah,
say.
but
So, guys, I think we're gonna be okay. Why? Do you see a boat? Not just a boat. Oh, what? Do you like 2 boats? More than that. Like, how many boats? I believe the correct term is a fuck ton of boats. All right, and then all the boats,
Yeah.
which seemed like they must have all been hanging out for each other till they gathered, so we could all arrive together.
Right.
So fuck those guys that may be drowning by the time we get there. We need to have a nice arrival scene.
Right.
And make sure everybody has time, make their signs
Yep.
up, and have separate boats for the different ones, and make sure they're there.
Every DJ gets their own boat.
135 minutes is the one that's available.
Yeah, so that's
the longer.
That's
version.
the long version.
1 hour and 57 minutes, which I believe is 117 minutes.
117 minutes. That's the US.
yeah, both are available.
Okay.
So I'm going to buy that version. I enjoyed it that much. Like I said, this movie, even talking about it, has made me love the movie even more. But
Yeah.
because when I first started watching this movie, within the first 15 minutes, I was like, okay, I don't see what the whole big. And then I was getting into it, started becoming a whole family, and them fucking with each other, and it was getting better. And then the boat sink, I was like, this has gotten better. And then the music just got
Like you
better.
guys.
Yeah, to me,
But we get worse at the time.
but yeah, to me, the music just made the movie.
Oh yeah.
I think it's a combination of the music and the fact that it was a true ensemble cast.
Yes.
It was
Yeah.
a true ensemble,
Yeah.
and they worked really, really well.
Yeah.
And just like the music, it was all pop and rock, but it was a wide range.
Yes.
And it fits so well.
Of classic ones too. A
Yeah.
lot of classics.
Okay, so
Even
all the music that they played, favorite songs.
Night in White Satin. I'm sorry, that scene right there, the sinking, the Knights of White Satin. I love that fucking song, and it fit perfectly for that scene, especially when he's doing his little his end speech, saying, prevail, fuck all the political and everything else. Enjoyed that. That was my favorite. I mean, there's a shitload of music in this movie I loved. I mean, fucking Beach Boys, everything. But the Knights in White Satin, I enjoyed the most.
I don't know why, but just whenever I hear, I love this music. The Whiter Shade of Pale. I just love that song.
Yes, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I like the All Day and All of the Night by the Kinks.
That was a very good one. The one that I could probably just listen to over and over again would be My Generation by The Who, of course.
Oh, yeah.
That is
Yeah.
such a great song.
Classic.
But the one that I think it may have been some of the better music that doesn't give enough love, The Wind Cries Mary by the Jimi Hendrix Experience.
Okay.
I'm just a big fan of Jimmy. So.
He's always great. How about you, Mike?
Well, there's so much good music
There
here.
is.
You gotta
There
pick one.
is.
You gotta pick one.
I was like,
I'm
Eeny,
gonna
Meeny,
pick
Miny,
the
Moe.
Who I Can See for Miles.
Okay.
Oh,
Yep.
that's a good
That's a
one.
good one.
Being on the ocean, and because I was on ship, just being able to, because I love looking at the ocean like that. When you can't see land, all you see is ocean, and that just speaks to me. But I mean, you got the Kinks on there, you got the Who,
Yeah.
you got Jimi Hendrix. But when these guys came to set, the director gave everybody a iPod or MP3 player, or whatever, and they had all this music on it, nothing past 1969, and that's all they were allowed to listen to while they were there.
So that really
And
put
then-
him in the area of time, basically.
Yes. So when they got there, they had it like 4 days. They took the ship out. Everybody stayed on ship for 4 days, together, living together, eating together, doing everything, so they could kind of react to each other, and that's where I think that's why this ensemble cast kind of bonded together.
Yeah.
And everything seems so natural.
Yeah.
So like a lot of movies, when you film, you don't see the other actors that much, but these guys actually lived together for not a huge amount of time, but a few days, and like they just gelled together.
Yeah, it's incredible to be able to gel and bond though. That just 4 days does not sound like a lot of time.
Yeah.
and to be able to bond together like that quick is pretty impressive for that many people.
Yeah. And well, they were given seasickness pills and armbands
Right.
every day.
Oh, Jesus.
Now, I'm lucky. I've never gotten seasick. I've never ever gotten seasick. But I know how miserable it can be because my son got seasick when we went deep sea fishing. And he was, from the time we left the harbor till the time we got back to the harbor, he was sick the whole time, and that could make you miserable. So they gave them 2 Dramamine pills every day in the morning, and they had the bands on that's supposed to help with seasickness too.
Yeah.
So we're going to head this off at the pass. Make sure nothing happens. So, something else. Oh, one of the other things I thought, some of the other little trivia things I saw, but one of the funny things I saw is there were several instances of things that didn't fit the movie. And one of the things I thought was funny was the headphones that the Count used weren't made until 1991.
I mean, that's really for the hardcore, like electrician type of, or a radio DJs to notice something like that. But
but the equipment, the other equipment though was true because it came from Radio Caroline.
Yeah.
So they were using the legit equipment. Some of the music was that I saw was not out until after this movie would have been. Like I said, this is 66, 67. There's a couple songs that I think came out in 69, things like that. So, but that was some of the little trivia things. It wasn't like,
Mike
and
even
I were
said,
talking about earlier.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of trivia on this movie.
which I was a little shocked at. But I mean, would you feel like this movie, because I've heard of this movie. I've heard of the name Pirate Radio. To me, I think this is very underrated. I don't think this is talked about that much.
Right.
But then when I've asked other people if they've seen it, and they said, oh, that's a good movie. So apparently it is known, but it's not well known. I mean, do you believe that, Stu?
I immediately remembered it. Second Adam, said he wanted to go ahead and do this. I was like, yeah, it's a great one. But yeah, it's not something that I hear talked about often.
Which I'm surprised about.
Yeah, but it seems like one of those ones that either you saw it and you enjoyed it, or you didn't see it and you know nothing about it.
I think I'm going to enjoy it even better a second time.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies that
you watch it more and you pick up little things here and there. So I couldn't tell you the last time I actually saw it broadcast. Because I know that's where I originally saw it was on a
movie channel.
Movie channel. Something
how'd
like that.
you watch? You said you owned a DVD.
Yeah, it was on DVD. Yeah. I bought the DVD from Amazon, had that come in because I wanted to see the deleted scenes. I wanted to see all the bonus stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why I got the DVD. But
I'm actually glad you that's one thing I love about doing the show is every once in a while you'll get one of people in the show have never seen a movie.
Right.
And I'm glad you opened my world to this movie because I've never seen it. And now I'm planning on buying it.
I'm glad I got you because it's usually the other way around. It's usually movies I haven't seen.
Yeah, no, like I said, I've heard it. I just never got to watching it. And after watching Love Actually, because this is from the same screenwriter, I watched that with Sammy when they did their episode. I didn't like Love Actually the first time I saw it, but I watched it the second time and I actually thought, it's not a bad movie. It's actually a fun little, feel good comedy, little dramatic here. Bill Nye was great as usual in it. And then noticing when I watched the trailer for this, when you said that we're going to be doing this, it said from the screenwriter of Love Actually, it was like, this might be good.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw the trailer, it looked like a fun time. And it was a great time.
And just a little side tangent. Mike, you were talking about that other movie that was based on
I couldn't
this
find
time frame. I think I found which one you were talking about. This one's actually was set about New Zealand, but similar situation where it was originally called 3 Mile Limit, retitled to 1480 Radio Pirates. Basically, same.
That was it. Yeah, that was it.
Same situation where.
Is it a comedy or more of a drama? Or
No, lighthearted thing.
Okay.
But it was 1965. Rock and roll is basically not allowed. Or the government has monopoly on broadcasting and doesn't really do
Just
rock and roll.
what's the release date? Like when did it come out?
2014.
So it was 5 years after.
But it was focused on the New Zealand
the difference
side.
in the movie was the rig that they were on, the oil derrick. They were trying to sue the pirate radio for being on it. They're saying they were trespassing on it, but it was abandoned, and the pirate radio people won the lawsuit that they could use it because it was abandoned.
It's
and
international law. Yeah,
it was 3 miles offshore, so they had full rights to take it over because it was
essentially salvage.
Yeah.
The funny thing about this movie, because you guys were talking about seeing it, my 22-year-old son, I was telling him, that we're doing this podcast and that I watched this movie, and now I had seen it before. And much like the last time we were together, I'd seen him before, and I didn't remember why I didn't see it again until I watched it again, and I'm like, that's why I didn't watch it. But this one, I don't know why I didn't watch this one again, because I do enjoy this movie. But my son had actually seen this movie, so we were discussing it, and I just found it odd that my son saw this movie because he's so much younger, and but
that was something he would have seen, new. So it's something that he came across when he was a handful of years old, then at least.
Yeah. Well, he likes a lot of the same music I do, so I think maybe the music drew him in.
Okay.
But it's just, this is another one of the movies where I really appreciate because it reaches across generations.
Yeah.
My son is 22, and I'm not.
Really? You're not?
So
we got 2 old fucks here.
That'd be weird.
It's just the movie appealed to me and appealed to him, and I think that's cool. That I think that's a sign of a good movie, a good, well done movie.
Yeah,
I know this was something that really spoke to Adam, just because it took him back to yesteryear, remembering going through all this.
Oh,
when it happened. So
fuck you. So another one of the little trivia things I saw was that how many times they referenced the Beatles and everything like that, but none of the Beatles songs were ever played.
Yeah, I noticed that. Especially the old
Abbey Road. It was money. It's
Oh,
exactly what it was. It was money. It was.
But you hear Beatles songs in a lot of movies. I guess they just couldn't get the rights to it
because they
paid
the
money. All right, now think about how much money they had to pay already just in soundtrack.
Yeah, think about how much music they played in this movie.
Yeah, all right, so they had a limited budget to spend, and they would have blown probably half of it alone, just on trying to secure a Beatles song.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
So, which to me, the Who is better than the Beatles, but
so everybody's favorite scenes.
I'd say the ending, right when they're about to sink, and when he's doing the speech and everything, when Gavin and him said, he said chicken and everything. That whole scene right there. Just any scene with Gavin and the Count, I enjoyed. I liked their beef with each other. So, but that scene right there, and they both were willing to stay until the boat sank to keep it going.
Right.
That scene right there was my favorite. The Knights in White satin in the background, it just fit perfectly. You just hear the boat just creaking and everything else going down. It was just it actually was a beautiful scene. I loved it. The sound effects, the music, and the talking from Philip Seymour Hoffman. So that scene right
I love how when the boat finally hit the bottom and the mast came flying back up.
Yeah.
I was waiting for just the whole thing just to rise back up and just keep chugging along.
It's like, we're back.
Yeah.
Look at Mary Celeste or something.
My favorite was like a little further to the end when all those boats showed up, and there was like a boat for each character.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Even Angus.
They all
that
had
nobody
fans.
liked.
Yeah.
They all had the fans. and they all
It was
fit.
like Dunkirk.
Yeah, that's what exactly. I was thinking of Dunkirk when I was watching the movie. Perfect. Yep. Thank you for bringing that up.
Simon had his own boat. You got your name on your boobies.
You see, what's his name? The quiet dude. No, that was another funny scene. It was also when they're telling, how do you do it, man? What do you do? He said he just stays quiet.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk.
Oh.
And that's how he gets the chicks. You remember what I'm talking about?
Yep. I'm trying to think here. I got it. I think I have
Midnight
it.
Mark.
Midnight Mark.
So tell us, Mark, at the very end, what's your secret? How do you get them all the girls? Simple. Don't say anything at all.
Yep.
Nothing. Then when tension becomes too much to bear, you finally say, how about it then?
Yep.
And he was saying it more like he's surprised it works. All right.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
you just don't say anything at all. All right.
Yep.
And then when tension gets too much, just say how about it then?
Yeah.
All right. Like he's in just flabbergasted at how stupid it is.
How stupid and simple it works.
Exactly.
Right.
Like, this shouldn't fucking work. I don't know why I'm doing it, but I'm fucking riding it all the way to the bank.
Yep.
Right?
So what's your favorite scene, Stu?
It's a simple throwaway scene, but it just made me happy. They're celebrating Christmas and stuff like that going around. And then Thick is fucking shows in the Easter Bunny outfit. Bunny's got nothing to do with Christmas.
Right.
That's why it's called the Easter Bunny.
Oh.
I really am thick, aren't I? It's so simple and just such a throwaway. But it's like,
It made you chuckle.
oh, this just fits family.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
what this is.
Yeah.
This is the retarded child that, like, God, you should have been a well baby, but I'm glad you're not. I'm glad we kept you. All right.
Well, baby.
We don't know what you do on this boat. But, no.
How about you, Mike?
The emergence scene when he comes out from the room
Yes.
after losing his virginity.
Yeah.
Right.
That scene cracks me up. And the part that cracks me up the most is after they make the big deal about it, they make the big announcement. He's going back in the room, and the news guy is there. This just in, young boy loses virginity in the middle of the North Sea.
It was just great. Like, it's such an important news event. Right. It was awesome. And then
the news guy was fun.
The girl and they pop out. Oh, if you could see what we're seeing now. Good for her.
Yep.
Good for her.
Yep.
And then she's like, with my sexual awakening that's now happened. I don't know.
Well, when the chick is being in the boat going back, she's holding up a sign, "I love you."
Yeah.
Like she's basically in love with this chick,
Right.
basically. Because she's the only female on board. She's the cook and everything, but she's a lesbian,
Right.
So
Mine has to be the fuck scene where they got Quentin saying fuck on the radio. It's just he has no idea what he's doing, and then he's just like, fuck you.
Bill Nye is amazing. I love Bill Nye in this movie. He's just the role was perfect for him. He did so well. Like I said, he's good in everything. He's good in everything.
Is that
I've
actually
seen.
how we pronounce his name? That's not how it's spelled. But is that how it's actually pronounced?
Yes.
Bill Nye.
Bill Nye, yeah.
I just want to make sure.
What did you think it was?
Nye or something like that?
That's what I always say in my
NYE
head.
sounds like Nye. Yeah, I mean,
I like that. I wasn't 100% sure, but I'm like, I don't know.
I've looked it up because I always said in my head, Bill Nye.
look it up on your phone. How do you say Bill Nye? And we'll tell you. I don't.
That's
we
the
won't
way
give
I
a
was
punishment for that.
because whenever I hear anybody else saying it, I'm like, you talking about the science guy? And they're like, no, it's the actor. Oh, okay.
Bill Nye, the science guy. Yeah.
So.
Actually, no. Yeah, just go ahead and play it. There won't be no punishment for that. But I'm curious because I think Google has the thing. How do you say it? And it'll go ahead and have a little play button. I'm definitely. I mean, I've seen it in interviews.
It says Nye.
It's Bill Nye.
Bill Nye.
Yeah. Well, how do you spell Bill Nye, the science guy? Like, what is that one? spelled?
NYE.
Is it NYE?
Yeah.
So that one's the same one. No, Bill Nye the Science Guy is his
spelled
is
NYE.
Nye,
NYE.
and Bill Nye the actor is the same way.
NIGHY.
NIGHY.
I thought it was NYE for
No.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
All right, I didn't know that.
That's why I was saying I wasn't sure his actual pronunciation.
Yeah.
I always recognize it by spelling 100%. I'm like, okay, that's that Bill. That's cool, Bill. And that's nice, Bill.
Right. So that's about, like I said, I didn't have, there wasn't a lot of trivia on this. Did you find anything else, Mike?
No, just I did the history background of what really happened at that time. That's it.
Actually, the amount of stuff that you guys brought to the table actually was perfect. I mean, we've pretty much discussed most of it and everything. It turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, especially with the whole historical facts from Mike here, the fact wizard here. But seriously, this was fun. I'm actually really glad you picked this movie because I'm not gonna lie. When you first picked it, I was like, oh. I've never seen it. I was like, I gotta give it a chance. I'm gonna watch it. You know, we have to give a chance to each of the guys. And then I watched it. I was like, watched the first 10 minutes. I was like, this is getting good. I'm liking this. This is fun. I'm gonna watch it again and everything else. So I'm actually glad that you. All
right, so now you maybe want to try to find something you're going to hate. Okay, how to figure this one.
Stu's still trying. Me and Stu are doing a show basically where he picks a movie that I hate.
Right.
And we have to basically battle and basically debate on why I hate it and why it's good and who's wrong and stuff like that.
Yes.
Exactly.
Donnie Darko. All right.
I think the movie's stupid. It's the most stupidest piece of movie. I don't understand why. I've seen it a couple times.
He doesn't understand. That's why.
No,
that's why he hates it.
Don't understand
He
it.
doesn't understand it.
It's a fucking it's a David Lynch film for teenagers. That's what I mean. I agree with that. But I like David Lynch. But that didn't feel like David Lynch to me. I don't know. Well,
you just don't understand it.
We'll talk about it. But we're going to do the same thing where I have to find a movie, or no, he has to find a movie that I hate, but he no.
You have to find a movie that you love that I hate.
Which I'm still trying to figure that shit out. You need to help me out there because I'm trying to figure out what movie.
Anything with Nick Cage in it.
I like Nick Cage.
I like Nick Cage. Nick Cage.
You don't like Leaving Las Vegas, right?
I love Leaving Las Vegas. To me, that is the best acting of Nick Cage.
No, I think it's great.
By far.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Whenever anybody talks about he's a shitty actor, I'm like, I can understand. But also, have you seen him in Leaving Las Vegas? Because it was fucking amazing.
No, it's an amazing movie. We'll find a movie. I seriously got to find one that you hate that I love.
What was the movie where he was the cop at the hockey? Was it Snake Eyes?
Yeah.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
That's a great movie from Brian De Palma.
Yeah, Snake Eyes and Face Off.
It's got one of the biggest.
It came out right around the same time.
It's got one of the nice, longest
It was
tracking shots.
Yeah. The Rock, Snake Eyes, Face Off.
Willy's Wonderland.
You said you like that because he's just not talking.
He doesn't talk. He doesn't say one line.
What's the one with him and Pedro Pascal that apparently is really good?
The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Yeah, and you guys have said that.
Because he's playing a caricature of himself.
Yeah.
All right. So he's playing a Nick Cage. All right.
Oh God.
Yes, it is. And it's meant to be over the top.
Are you a fan of the original Dune?
Yeah.
All right. I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. It's a long ways away until we do that.
What's that Nick Cage where he actually went by his real name?
The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
No.
Oh no, you're talking about Nicholas Coppola.
Yeah. Was it Valley Girl?
That might be right. Might be one of its super early ones.
Yeah, Valley Girl is a Nicolas Cage movie from the 80s.
Yeah.
But I think
didn't go
Sammy
by
watched it and said it was shit.
Yeah, but he didn't go by Nick Cage. He went by Nicholas Coppola at that time.
Yeah.
Huh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, because he decided he didn't want to ride his uncle's.
Yeah, I think it's his uncle.
Uncle's coattails.
Interesting.
So, Francis.
All right.
So, all right. So, I guess if that's about it, everybody ready for their
Pint reviews?
Pint reviews?
Sure.
Right.
This was fun. All right. So, who goes first?
Mike.
You can pick. Yeah, you pick. Mike, you're going first. Let's see what your review on this one is. You always have a hard time with these.
I do, but I'm glad you asked me to be in on this one because I got to watch this movie again. Because I really enjoy this movie, and it's like you said, it's not a movie that's on all the time.
Right.
I've seen it before, and I really didn't remember much of it. And then when I started watching, it started coming back to me, and I'm like, oh, I freaking love this. So critical. I think the writing's relatively good. Like I don't think there's a lot of holes in it. It's fun. It's written to be fun. I think everybody does what they're supposed to do in this movie. Like their characters do everything that their characters are supposed to do. So for critical, I think I'm gonna go. Like, this is always hard for me. Critical, I'll give it a 4.
Ooh, that's high. That's good.
I just like I like this. I like the topic, and like I said, the writing's good. I really would love to watch the UK version with the added scenes.
It's available
because I think it will add to it. I think it will even make it better.
Yeah, I really don't know why they felt that they had to cut it. It just the
Just American standards,
the scenes that they cut out though, just to me, if I had seen that version, to me it felt like it would have been a better version.
Well, length also, people they think about the money and that a lot of people don't want to go see a long movie, so they think that it's going to make more box office if it's shorter, and they're thinking it's like a comedy. So that's just what America does when it comes to movies. So it all based, but now movies are completely the other way around, where movies are a lot longer than normal. Most movies nowadays are between 2.5 to 3 hours.
Right.
It's been kind of a norm now, but in the past it wasn't. It was mostly like 90-minute long movies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you think about it, you knock out 20 minutes. That's an extra. That's probably an extra showing a day.
Yeah.
So they're probably good to get more money for the box office.
Yeah.
Even the covers are different between the UK and the American version.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's 2 different posters. So what's your enjoyment?
Enjoyment, I'm going to give it a 4. I really enjoy watching this movie.
4. That's strong.
It's just one of those movies that I think really, like you said, someone said before, it really flies under the radar. And with my critical and everything I said about that, I think that it really translates to enjoyment of this movie. It's not far-fetched. It's easy to believe.
Yeah.
It's loosely based on true events. It was a conglomeration of all these pirate radio stations at the time.
Right.
I really wish they only mentioned the commerce a little bit. I really wish they would have pressed that a little bit more, because that was one of the true reasons why they hated these pirate radios, because the government wasn't getting their penny.
Yeah.
But maybe they didn't do that for a reason. I don't know. But yeah, enjoyment was 4.
Awesome.
All right. Good. Hannah.
Oh, okay. I think for enjoyment, I really like this movie. There's all the great music and the characters work so well together. There's so many good things to say about it, but I think I give it a 4. I like this one a whole lot. I saw it such a long time ago. I didn't even remember the boat sinking at the end and all that stuff.
Right.
But
I thought it was epic.
and I thought it was a little bit slow for a second when it started.
Same.
This time, and then I was like, no, it's.
It gets better.
I like it. I like how they show all the people, like what they're doing while they're listening.
Yeah.
And for critical, I think I'd give it a 4. Also,
Strong.
I mean, I feel like it's true to the story is good. There's really not a lot to bring the critical score down, but
Yeah.
I mean, unless you think really hard about these songs didn't come out until 1969 after the movie, but yeah.
Most
give it a 4.
people wouldn't even realize that.
I mean, I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
It was really cool at the end too, with all the different album artwork.
Yeah.
I even saw like a Nirvana.
Oh, there was Eminem was on there.
Yeah.
I mean, it went through
So
basically all
much.
the albums through all the generations.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, Ron.
Okay, so this movie was a shock to me. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. I thought in the beginning, the first 15, 20 minutes, it was starting off slow, but it was just getting better and better. And I was sitting in the couch slouching. I was like, okay, what's going on with this? And I was starting to really enjoy it. The music was really getting me going, enjoying all the characters. The Nick Frost fucking over the young guy. It just Gavin and Count. It just got better and better. Bill Nye, ever since he graced the screen, every single time he graces the screen, I enjoy him. I always love Bill Nye. So the enjoyment of this movie is going to be actually pretty high. I want to watch it again because I feel like if I watch it over and over again, you just see more stuff. And if a movie is that engrossing to the point where it makes you want to watch it again, that means it's high for me. That means that I really enjoyed the movie. I'm going to give this a 4.5 for enjoyment. This was highly enjoyable. I love this movie. It almost comes close to a 5, but I'm going to go for a 4.5 because there's still other comedies out there I enjoy better. And stuff like that. But this was just so much fun. I enjoyed it because it was just like a huge family, just, you know, doing this whole thing with radio, being pirates out there, getting their music out, enjoying themselves, going fun. And I'm glad I watched the British version. Like the fact that the whole scene with they're going bar hopping, that was a great fucking scene.
It was.
Made me laugh. It was like I could see a group of us as a group of guys doing the same thing, just going out and just getting fucked up, getting drunk and everything else. It was just so much fun. And even the scene with the dude with the Jimi Hendrix album cover, the way that they made that, I thought it was like a surprise. It's like, oh, I didn't expect this to be in this movie. I was like, oh, shitload of tits like that. I mean, it was like 20 or 30 tits right there, topless chicks. So that's always nice. Tits are always nice. But overall, yeah, 4.5 for an enjoyment. For my critical, I will probably give this a the direction was great. The special effects, even with the boat going down, it looked real. It looked great. I thought they did a great job with the boat sinking. I was not expecting that to be in this movie at all. I was expecting like a goody two shoes ending and everything else, but the boat sinking was not what I was expecting. I thought it was great with the music selections and the certain scenes. They just fit perfectly. Like I said, I'll say it again. That scene, the Knights of the White Satin, with that part when Philip Seymour Hoffman's doing that speech, it was like making me smile. When a movie makes me smile, I've said that many times. I love this movie. This was so much good, so much great fun. For enjoyment,
So much good.
Yeah.
So much good.
It didn't come out well.
It didn't come out well?
Yeah. Shut up. The critical on this movie,
Words are hard.
I will do. They are 4.5. It's gonna be a 4.5, 4.5. Almost near perfection. Seriously, I seriously enjoyed this movie. It was a fun comedy, and like I said, I think I'm gonna enjoy it more and more the more I watch it. And I'm gonna buy this movie. I'm gonna watch it again because I enjoyed it so much. This was a high recommendation. I recommend everybody watch the British version if they get a hold of it, because I'm glad I watched that one first, because I had no idea until I looked online and then you told me. I was like, oh wow, so I watched the extended version,
Right.
So, or the original version as they said it. But yeah, 4.5. This was great. I had so much fun with this movie. Great
Nice.
pick. Great pick.
Stu.
Thank you. Enjoyment. This is a strong 4. A strong 4 for me. Always remember enjoying this. Like I said, great ensemble cast. Big fans of most of the main characters. Love seeing what they're doing and what they would then went on to do afterwards. Big fan. Music was great, catchy, fit the time period very well. Special effects, what little bit there was fine. Yeah. Critical, I go a little bit lower. I think the acting wasn't necessarily the greatest. I mean, it's still fun, but I mean, except for the Count, and even Bill Nye. Bill Nye was just being Bill Nye. That's Bill Nye to me.
Right.
Right. No matter what he is, he's
great.
He's great.
He's great.
He's great.
Yeah.
But he's Bill Nye.
Yeah.
All right. That's who he is.
Yeah.
And I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Love him, like Christopher Walken. Love him. But he's Christopher Walken. All right.
Would you call him the British version of Christopher Walken?
I mean, there's plenty of actors who are just themselves that are still super fun.
Okay.
Always super fun.
Because Bill Nye's been in dramas, he's been in comedies, he's the same way, but
every
he's
single
great.
time.
But Christopher
Bill
Walken's
Nye.
done the exact same
Yes,
thing.
except for when he's dancing. All right, and that's the most non-Christopher Walken thing I've ever seen him do.
But it's great to
And
watch.
It fits him more than anything else I've ever seen.
Fat Boy Slim.
Okay,
Fat Boy Slim.
but no, it's Chris O'Dowd. It's still basically just playing himself from the IT crowd. Reese Darby is being Reese Darby. They're all just being themselves for the most part, except for Philip Seymour Hoffman, who I felt like was the only who was actually acting. And I enjoyed his acting, and then I enjoyed seeing everybody else. So I wouldn't say it's a wonderfully acted film. It's
quick,
just a film.
Quick fact: Philip Seymour Hoffman. This is the second time he's played a DJ. You ever seen Almost Famous?
Yes.
Yeah, he played a DJ in that too.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, which was actually pretty cool. No, you know what?
See, DJ?
Strike that. I'm wrong.
Was
he played a music reviewer.
He was a journalist.
Journalist, yeah. Sorry, I thought he was a DJ. He was being interviewed on a DJ station. I'm wrong. Sorry.
Yeah, I remember a minute. I just could better.
Correction.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. You done interrupted me with incorrect factoids?
Hey, you've interrupted me many times whenever I do pint reviews. All you guys have.
With the incorrect factoids?
Well, that was incorrect. I admitted to it.
I know.
I admitted to it. It was a movie about music, though.
It was. Okay. Hey, quick fact, Amadeus.
Should we? Should
just
we?
saying, just
You
for naming
can.
movies about music.
You can.
Yeah.
Should we?
Footloose. Footloose, just name movies about music.
Shut up.
Okay, we done talking about this random shit?
Yeah, go ahead.
Eat a dick. I love you, thick Ron.
I know how to handle this dick. Why would I do that to myself?
I guess use a dummy. No, but critical, I'll probably have to give this like a 3 3/4. Still good.
That's still strong.
Still good.
Mm-hmm. Anything above a 3 is always good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely enjoyable. Recommend people seeing it, not just for the enjoyment side of it, but it is a well put together film. Like I said, the soundtrack, pitch perfect. The comedic beats of it felt very natural. They weren't super forced or heavy handed and stuff like that for the most part. I do feel like certain things like making Nick Frost's character get picked up by a bunch of schoolgirls and him immediately, perving on a bunch of schoolgirls. I'm like, there wasn't any real reason for this at all. I mean, they didn't have to be schoolgirls.
They could be college freshmen. It's
okay. All right, they felt like fucking fucking fresh, like high school freshmen. But I was saying, there wasn't a necessary reason for that. Just certain beats that just felt like a little bit too heavy handed. I'm like, all right, they missed the mark here a little bit.
Yeah.
Didn't necessarily need to be this way. Just stuff like that. But overall, very enjoyable, very, very recommended film, and I'm glad I got to be a part of this one.
Thank you, appreciate it. I'm glad everybody could watch this one. I'm glad it was a new one for you.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this movie.
So have you misplaced your virginity
No,
for
I'm
this film?
No.
You haven't? Okay. You haven't misplaced your virginity?
Misplaced my virginity for the film? Come on.
I'm doing a quote from this fucking
I know,
film.
I know.
Right.
I know. It just sounds weird.
Yes, it could have sounded fucking weird when they said it.
I know. Anyways,
So it's for me, enjoyable. I've always loved this movie. Ever since I first saw it, enjoyable. I'm gonna have to give 4.5. It's just every time I watch it, I love it.
Here we go.
There's not a whole lot I could say that's wasn't making me smile the whole time watching it. Critical. Now my critical score is gonna be based off the version I watched. And with the version I watched, the US version, I'm gonna just have to say critically, I'm gonna kind of agree with Stu, 3 3/4.
So you would have gone higher if you
the
saw?
I think the UK version, if I saw that with the additional scenes that I know were in it, would have been a little bit higher.
Okay,
I would have. To me, I think those would have improved.
Those scenes would have been fun to see. I could agree with.
You don't think it would have added to the movie?
I do think. I think that the pacing of what we saw was very well done.
For instance, to me, the stag party scene, all we saw was them go to Abbey Road
and get fucked up.
But there was a lot more in the English version that I think
did we need to see it?
But to fit what they were trying to say to do as a true stag party,
it added to laughs. It added
to
more
me,
laughs to it.
in that instance, it would have improved. It would have made the movie better because of it fit. I think that one particular scene it was just too quick. It was like, okay, we're gonna have a stag party. Red
And
Abbey
then they
Road,
chose them.
Red Abbey Road, and Ever Gone.
Yeah.
And it's.
But like I said, I feel like the pacing as a whole in this film was really, really well done. At no point did I ever feel like, all right, this is dragging a little bit. Where
No, I didn't feel like
Even
it was drag. I
exactly.
felt that
Yeah.
they
But I'm saying
trimmed a little bit too much.
That's where I'd be hesitant to see, because like I'll enjoy watching deleted scenes and cut content and stuff like that, but it's always going to be after I watch the main film, and most of the time it's like, yeah, these were good scenes, these were fun scenes, but it would have added time to the film, that would have slowed the pacing, that would have it didn't propel the story. And all it would have done was made it enjoyable, yes, but it would have fucked up the timing.
To me, what happened was, and we have always said before, is what did the director want to put out?
Yeah,
and the director wanted to put out what he put out, which was the UK version.
Mm-hmm.
It was
America that cut it up.
It was Universal that said, "We feel this is too long. We need you to trim it down."
And he said, "Yes, sir."
Well, I understand
this is
why
what I'm
he
giving
said
it
yes,
to you.
sir, is
Yes.
because
To get it
he
released in the
wanted it
States.
to get released in the States. But
I'll look at something like the Deadpool movies. I love Ryan Reynolds. I love those films. I think they're super fun, super great time. But there's plenty of scenes that they cut, just for pacing, just for timing, stuff like that. And all these scenes are fun. They're absolutely great enjoyment. But you're like, okay, I can understand if you put this in there, it would have made
Slow
it feel
down.
like slowed down just a little bit, or it would have taken too long to get to the built up punchline for something else that they're trying to do. I can understand why they're removing this, because it does slow the pacing. You can't have 3 hours of really good scenes and stuff like that without also sacrificing making it feel like this is a fucking 3 hour long movie,
Right.
which very, very few films can maintain true rapt attention for a very extended period of time.
Yeah.
so, what version of Deadpool did you like? Deadpool 2 or Deadpool 2.5?
I actually preferred 2 over 2.5. I did. Because I do feel like they hit the timing and they hit the proper jokes without being fucked around with too much.
Right.
Anything can go overboard really fucking quick, and it's just like, all right.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I
So
see
that's
what you're
where
saying.
I'd be hesitant. I'm like, I really do feel like the American version, the timing was very, very crisp.
So
It was nice.
if you watch the British version first without even seeing the American version, do you think you would have noticed?
I like I said, I
think
felt
it
like
would've
this was
changed your
good
review?
timing. I'm worried
That it would-
the British version would make it feel like I would have felt like it would have dragged a little bit, which thereby may have taken my overall enjoyment down. I'd rather have, an hour and 57 minutes of, nice crisp, beats than 2 hours and 15 minutes of mostly crisp beats. Because that little bit is going to be enough to make it like, they're more focusing on a negative aspect than the overall positive.
Yeah.
I guess just to me, knowing what got cut just to make it get released over here, and what was lost, what not necessarily was lost, but
Okay, so you lost the tit scene, which didn't really need necessarily,
but that was the end of an
the tit
overall.
scene.
But that was the end of an overall series of scenes that was not seen.
Okay.
And to me,
Did you, because they had set the rules up, no women on the boat except for every second Saturday of the month, where you're each allowed to invite one over. So then if all of a sudden they said, oh, we're just also randomly going to have an entire fucking boatload of random fans on top of what we already have our established rules, then that just feels like you're setting it up just to have the tit payoff. Which, tits are nice. Tits are wonderful. Love tits. Big fan.
Well, it told more about that character and how he was just like good with women.
It went more of the mystique of midnight mark. They talk about he is the coolest, sexiest man who doesn't talk. So it goes with that whole mystique, and then until the very end, then he actually talks like 2 sentences, and the 2 sentences it does just rocks everything.
Yeah,
it's like the Silent Bob effect, when in the Kevin Smith films.
Yeah,
where,
you're right.
If you see more of it, it's taken away the mystique.
Yeah.
All right. And
I
just
never
for a
thought of that.
payoff,
Yeah, but like the Dogma scene where he says no ticket.
Yeah.
It was a big payoff because you just see him silent the whole time, and he says that, and it's just it's a fucking laugh. It's a crowd pleaser right there, just seeing that. So yeah. Or when he yells at Jay in the middle of the street on Jan Silent Strike Back,
or then he just randomly fucking comes up with some super deep philosophical shit and stuff like that, and just fucking drops it on somebody.
Chasing Amy.
All right. But listen, I'm just using that as an example.
Yeah. No, but it's actually really cool you brought that up. Yeah. That he does have a point about that.
But that would just be you're setting up a series of scenes that you're breaking your own rules, your own continuity that you've already set up an explanation for other payoffs just for a tit shot payoff. No. That's what it feels like from what you guys are describing to me. Set up a series of scenes just to end up in the tit joke, which is great.
So it wasn't just that. There was also multiple other scenes other than that, like the bar hopping scene. I really enjoyed. I could have lived without that.
Yeah. But the bar hopping scene, okay. Once again, you stag party. Okay, we know what's gonna happen. They're gonna go get fucked up, and then it's more about the after effects that you see.
But it's fun to see. It's fun to watch.
Maybe fun to watch, but it didn't necessarily need to exist.
That's true, but there's probably other scenes in this movie that probably weren't needed either.
I feel like the timing on this was pretty tight. It was pretty well done. That's in my opinion.
Yeah. So, anyway, so again, thank you for joining me on this. And like I said, it was fun, and glad it was a new one for you. And
I enjoyed it.
Glad Mike was able to join us on here. Appreciate you showing up.
Actually, Mike, why don't you go ahead and plug your show, buddy?
Mike D from Take On the World. We take on just about every topic. And as with this, I try to look at the historical aspects of everything. That's TOTW Pod, almost every place you listen to podcasts. And our videos on YouTube and Rumble and Spotify. And I also do Berks County Unsolved. And we look at unsolved murders in the Berks County, Pennsylvania and surrounding areas. And just search for Berks County Unsolved and you'll find us. Hopefully we'll start back up with that pretty soon.
Yeah, I remember curious. I was actually going to talk to Casey the other day about that. I was wondering, like, hey, where's your show, man? I'm waiting for you, waiting for your show for a new episode to drop. So I'm actually curious about that.
I have a bunch of research for us to start. So,
well, looking forward to it. No, Mike's always good with the research on his shows. You do a hell of a job. Wonderful. And I also always enjoy. You're always welcome to be on our show. That's why Mike's kind of like our guy that our regular guest for BAF, and it's always great to have you. This was so
I always enjoy being here.
Thanks, man. That means a lot. This was so much fun, guys. Make sure that you check our notification bar.
Ring-a-ling, ding-a-ling.
There you go.
Thanks for letting me be on too again.
And of course, Anna. Yes, I apologize, Anna. I wasn't trying to leave you out. No, seriously, Anna's always a welcome guest also on our show. It's always great to have her. She's a super fan of BAC and BAF. And seriously, this was a lot of fun. And I really want you guys to check out our future episodes. We have a lot of great ones coming out, a lot of little singular episodes where you just got two guys talking to each other about a movie and everything else. It's going to be fun. There's one with me and Chase, a couple actually with me and Chase, with me and Stu, and me and Adam and Anna are going to be doing a movie here soon. We're going to be doing Interstellar. Looking forward to that one.
I'm excited.
Knocking that one out. So seriously, we have a lot of great episodes coming in the future, and plus our animated series coming out. We have 5 great movies to do. We have Wall-E, Beavis and Butthead Do America, Stu doing The Brave Little Toaster.
Gonna be a fun one.
Chase has been crazy about wanting to do Treasure Planet. He is like, because I've never seen it, he wants to do that one. And then we also have Adam doing Cars. I've never seen.
I don't know how
You've not seen Cars?
I've never seen Cars.
What's wrong with you?
I've never seen Cars.
What the
I wasn't
fuck
interested
is
in it.
wrong with you?
Yeah, it's just I don't know. Me
That's why
and
kids
animated
hate you.
movies.
I'm saying right now.
Probably. So, but seriously,
I'm
we
just
have
kidding. They love you.
we have a great series coming out. So check us out.
It's that
And-
mentality that matches up.
No, Jesus Christ. Anyways, guys, we're gonna go ahead and sign off. So thanks for joining us. We will see y'all later.
Laters.